Football League as the Stampeders look to keep pace with the Eskimos, while the Alouettes hope to snap a mini 2-game slide in a place they haven't won a game since 2009. A good evening, everyone. Dustin Nielsen alongside Glenn Suter, and these two teams are fired up and ready to go, Glenn.
Yes, they are. A little fight night here in Calgary. Here's the starting quarterback for the Montreal Alouettes, Vernon Adams, back in the lineup. He missed last week versus Saskatchewan due to injury, but is 3-1 as a starter, and he had the Als rolling before their bye week. All kinds of speculation in Calgary that Bo Levi Mitchell would be back. He's not. He had a setback. It'll be Nick Arbuckle. Start number 7. He is 4-1 this year.
Dave Dickinson 3-1 at home so far this season. Of course, dominant team here in Calgary since 2012 at McMahon Stadium. And Kahari Jones nearing the midway point of his first season as head coach of the Montreal Alouettes. Had a good run earlier in the season, won 3 in a row, stumbled a bit as of late, but a healthy Vernon Adams back should definitely help that situation. And we are underway as this kick will come down into the hands there of Terry Williams, who takes it to the 20, finds a little bit of room actually, and kicks it outside up to about the 35, where he is forced out of bounds, and that is where Nick Arbuckle and the Calgary Stampeders will go to work.
Certainly Dave Dickinson can feel comfortable with the fact that Nick Arbuckle, his record, what he's done as the starter, 4-1 this year, 4-2 in his career, and that's a short sample size, small sample size, but very, very impressive. Nick Arbuckle here at home trying to defend home turf for the Calgary Stampeders. Both teams trying to come back from losses.
1st and 10 is where Calgary will start on their own 35. Don Jackson in there behind Arbuckle. And they will give it to Jackson for the first touch of the football game, and nowhere to go. Gets it back to about the line of scrimmage, but no further.
Well, we'll get to it fairly soon. What happened in warm-up, Don Jackson was part of the scuffle. I'll call it a scuffle.
I was thinking festivities.
It was more than that, but we'll get to that in a second. There's Jackson, the starter. I put in Shane Bergman because that 29-year-old, 7-year veteran really stabilizes that offensive line up front for Calgary.
2nd and 10 here for Arbuckle. 3 targets to his left. Dumps it off underneath to Jackson. Jackson had a little bit of a hole, but that was taken away quickly, and he's wrapped up about 2 yards short. Tommy Campbell right on top of him as you see the energy carrying over from what we saw pregame.
Yeah, well, Tommy Campbell was a big part of that. Here it is, and just before, as both teams were warming up, you're not supposed to cross center. Tommy Campbell is in there with Quentin McManus, who's not dressed tonight, but they started it off. They got into a bit of a pushing match. That got fired up, and they started throwing punches. The teams then met on Montreal's side of the warm-up, and that's where Don Jackson got fired up, and he took a shot. So there will be supplemental discipline.
First meeting of the year between these two clubs. And this will come down to Shakir Ryan, and he's wrapped up quickly inside his own 20. Is a good job there by the Stampeders special teams to get downfield.
Now what both teams have to do is just put that aside, get focused on the job at hand, and this team has been a lot better when Vernon Adams was pulling the trigger for him. He missed that shortened game versus Saskatchewan due to injury, but before the bye week had the Montreal Alouettes on a 3-game win streak.
In his career as a starter for the Alouettes, he is 6-3. Rest of the other quarterbacks combined since 2016, 13 and 39. This one incomplete on the far side of the field as Roberson in there to break it up.
No William Stanback. I know Montreal fans disappointed there. He was close, but not quite, although Jeremiah Johnson, great veteran, 32 years old out of Oregon, former BC Lion, will start at tailback with Vernon Adams. They will adjust their run game a little bit. I put Tony Washington in because Cordero Law has 6 sacks on the season, and that's the blind side for Vernon Adams.
Adams works here, 2nd and 10. Johnson standing immediately to his left. Adams in a little bit of trouble as Law was on him, dumps it off over the top, and he's got a completion outside the 30 as he found Eugene Lewis for the first down.
Wow. Degree of difficulty from Vernon Adams on this throw, rolling to his left and then throwing against the flow all the way back into the middle. Dangerous throw. Have to have confidence to make this throw, and look at the accuracy. That's a tough one.
Perfect execution there from Adams. Now he'll have 4 targets to his right as they work from the 33. Dumps it off. And that is cut back up and now kicked to the outside, and a ton of room here on the right side of the field. Jeremiah Johnson will take it down to the 30 as Johnson found a huge hole out there, got some good blocking, and opens up a huge play early in this game.
Yeah, you talk to Montreal and their teammates are very comfortable, very confident in their tailback and Jeremiah Johnson while they wait for William Stanback to get back in the lineup from injury, because he can make you miss. He's got the great shakes in the middle of the mesh, and he gets outside and uses his speed to pick up the extra yards. Watch the bounce, cut to the outside, and away he goes. Veteran, understands protections in the passing game as well.
Cordero Law had a good shot at him there, kind of bounced him ahead for a 47-yard pickup there for Johnson. They'll go back to him, and this time he jumps around for a pickup of about 3 or 4 yards up the middle.
Cordero Law starts on that D-line once again, 6 sacks, tied for second in the Canadian Football League behind Charleston Hughes. Bit of a log jam behind him. Corey Greenwood leads the entire league in tackles, coming off a game where he had a career-high 12. More on him as this game goes on. And Trey Roberson has those 5 picks. Hasn't had one for a while, but teams aren't testing him anymore. They're not going over there as much.
Staying away, although Adams did throw it in his direction on the first play scrimmage of the game. Now Adams, will he keep it? He does. He dives ahead, and that will be short of the first down. But Adams here returning to the lineup, not afraid to use his feet here in the early going.
But making a good decision when contact arrives, and that's as important, and you learn that coming off the injury he came off of against the Ottawa Red Blacks. Kahari Jones took a look at how far it was, but that's a couple, almost 3, so he's going to take the points. And
Boris Beatty will come out 15-19 on the year, just shy of 80%. Looking to give the Alouettes an early lead here on their first possession of the football game. The strength of a big run by Jeremiah Johnson, setting them up for these 3 points, and that is hammered through. So Montreal strikes first here on the road in Calgary, and it is Beatty to finish it, but it was Jeremiah Johnson going 47 yards to put the Alouettes in striking distance here. They've got an early lead on the Stampeders at McMahon. You have to think Kahari Jones probably pretty happy coming away with some points on that opening drive.
Oh yeah, always on the road, get that opening drive, and they were backed up inside their own 30, so to get the field position back, come away with points, good start for the road team.
Arbuckle back out here working from the 35. This one quickly, and that'll be complete for a first down as the Alouettes wrap them up as Rogers gets involved here in the early going.
37-year-old John Bowman, 2 sacks on the year. Linebacking core, Enoch Mwamba, 32 defensive tackles for him, still looking for his first sack. Patrick Levels is the former Calgary Stampeders who leads the team in defensive plays, so I highlighted him. And Taylor Loeffler, hear more from him. 4 knockdowns and an interception, keeping that secondary together.
First year here in Montreal for Loeffler. Now Arbuckle will dump it off, and that will be complete into the hands of Josh Huff, making his first catch of the game. A lot of opportunity for Huff here today with Markeith Ambles out of the lineup.
Yeah, he's replacing Ambles, so Eric Rogers, Bagleton will be their leading guy for Arbuckle, or has been throughout the year. But we get a good look at Josh Huff. Limited playing time so far, only targeted once before this game.
Former Philadelphia Eagle. Now they'll swing it out to Jackson. He's got the first down and a little bit more. Forced out of bounds at about the 50. And that's back-to-back first downs here for the Calgary Stampeders. Jackson.
Well, he's a fiery guy. I mean, this is a guy that, you know, Dave Dickinson had to just calm down, even about coming off injury, and making sure he was patient. There was a lot going on when it came to Don Jackson. He runs angry, and he was part of that scuffle. It looks like he's it's lingering for number 25 as this game has started.
Jackson 28 yards away from 1,000 for his career. Now he'll flare out to the left. Arbuckle far side. That's a completion. Wide open. A flag on the play, though. And this one, will it be coming back?
It might be coming back after the catch. It looked like Bagleton been holding downfield after the catch.
Michael Klukas with the reception.
Illegal interference, blocking downfield prior to the pass. Calgary number 4. That's a 10-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Eric Rogers, the guilty party.
Yeah, he was working with Bagleton on the same side. I thought it was 84. It was actually Eric Rogers right here, and he's going to get downfield, clearly set a pick here, block before the ball is thrown and complete, so that play comes back. If that illegal block was after the catch, well, after the catch it wouldn't have been illegal.
Now we've got another stoppage here. As the officials will come over on the near side, and is there going to be a challenge here? Looks like there is.
Calgary is challenging the previous play for offensive pass interference. We'll review it.
Dave Dickinson dropping the challenge flag here early in this football game, trying to get this first down into the hands of Michael Klukas. There's the play. You see Rogers, the guilty party. We'll have a verdict when we come back. Dave Dickinson getting a good look at the challenge that the Stampeders are trying to get overturned right now.
Well, this was after the challenge, and Dickinson still feels like he was right, although...
After review, the ruling on the field stands.
Yeah.
We had illegal block downfield prior to the pass. That's offensive pass interference. Calgary has charged their first timeout and have no challenges remaining.
Yeah, I'm not sure what information he got or what the iPad showed, because we'll show you again, and clearly before the ball is thrown, there's contact, offensive pass interference, knocking a DB down. You can't do that.
Interesting decision to use the challenge there from Dickinson. Arbuckle now will have to work 1st and 20. Swings it out near side for Bagleton, and Bagleton running out of room. It's about to midfield.
Yeah, Dustin, that's what's most surprising. I mean, you know, Dave Dickinson, one of the great coaches in this game, but to challenge a play like that halfway through the first quarter is I mean, usually if you're going to challenge, and this is how it's gone since the change in the rule, if you're going to challenge as a coach in the first half, it's got to be a scoring play.
Yeah.
You either get points or you take points off the board because of the challenge. Interesting timing by Dickinson.
Here's Arbuckle looking to his left. Now he's going to run to his right. Escapes from trouble. And he'll have nowhere to go as Mwamba closes up quickly there at about the 47.
Two great middle linebackers in this game tonight, and we're going to get a chance. You're going to get a chance to see them at work, because we're going to take a close look at them, because both are athletic, both will get to the ball, and they get to the ball with a little bit of an attitude, trying to make that big hit on an open field tackle in the quarterback. Clean, good hard football from Enoch Mwamba.
He came a long way to get there too. He backed off quite a bit as his kick will fly out of bounds, and as the Calgary Stampeders remain scoreless here, just want to point out Calgary has 29 first points so far this season in the first quarter. Something to follow along here. Arbuckle unable to produce here as Enoch Mwamba shuts them down. Alouettes lead 3-0. Welcome back. Vernon Adams, the good news, they've got the ball back. The bad news, they're starting here on their own 6. Calgary showing a little bit of pressure there. Adams adjusts. Now we'll keep this one. Pick the hand off, dumped it off on the near side. And that one to DeVere Posey for his first catch of the game.
back in the lineup. I mentioned off the top, Vernon Adams and that 3-game win streak, his win-loss record since taking over as the starter for the Montreal Alouettes. That's his numbers and resume so far. 63.7%. TD passes, 3 rushing TDs, uses his legs well, has rushed for over 200 yards.
Got 4 targets to his right this time, looks to his left, has a little bit of time, has a man down the field, just misses him. He was looking deep for Eugene Lewis, who had a couple of steps in behind the Calgary defense.
Well, he knows he let one get away there because this is a score. I mean, this is bust in the coverage, which you don't get very often when you play the Calgary Stampeders. You can see on the outside, Raheem Wilson jumps that flat route, leaving his man wide open in behind him, and Adams rushed it just a little bit and just missed him, and he knows it.
A little frustrated there. Lewis, you're right. He was gone. He was able to bring that one in. And now Morris Beatty stands inside his own end zone here, and he will hammer one low. It bounces at about the 40, taken at the 50 and brought back down to the 43 there by Williams, as Vernon Adams took a shot just a little bit too far for Eugene Lewis. Stampeders offense with great field position. Back on the field next. Big story in Calgary this week, of course, the status of Bo Levi Mitchell. For more on that, let's send it down to Farhan Lalji.
Guys, Stamps head coach Dave Dickinson was 99% sure coming into this week that Bo Levi Mitchell would be his starter tonight, so it's hard not to feel like the fact that he's not playing is a bit of a setback. Now, a week ago, Bo did try to throw on his own. It felt fine. Then at the beginning of the week, he took part in practice, and he said it just didn't feel right. His pectoral muscle was basically grabbing. He kind of compared it to a hamstring pull. For the next 2 days, it didn't settle. He says it does feel a lot better today, and in hindsight, I think they feel they could have attacked the rehab a little more aggressively. I think the feeling was they were a little late getting the rehab started. They also tried to attack all of the muscles around the pectoral, including the shoulder, but let the pec itself rest. Now, over the next few weeks, once the injury settles, they'll attack the pec muscle hard. Bo is still optimistic that he'll be able to play in the Labor Day games after the bye. Dave Dickinson is not sure. He says when he comes back, I want him 1,000% ready. I don't want any lingering effects from this injury.
Thank you very much, Farhan. You see Arbuckle with the completion there. How does that impact Arbuckle, do you think, when everybody thought Bo Levi was coming back and now they say, Nick, the job's still yours?
Well, business as usual for Nick Arbuckle. He's got to prepare as if he's a starter and just see how this plays out. I mean, it could be anywhere from, as Farhan mentioned, the Labor Day back-to-back against Edmonton, or, you know, who knows how long this could linger. In the meantime, the Stampeders get the salary cap relief. It's been over 6 games. This is the second stint on the 6th game, but they can take them off early.
After picking up a first down on a completion to Herji Mayala, they'll hand it off to Jackson for a short gain, and a late flag here at the end of the play. Jackson obviously coming back here, trying to get this run game going. Calgary has not been able to do anything on the ground.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness. Montreal, number 23.
Yeah,
we'll go 15 yards,
guys.
automatic first down.
So, you know, this is now it's carrying over and costing Montreal. I mean, it was Tommy Campbell that got it all started in the warm-up and the fight in the warm-up. You know, there'll be supplemental discipline for number 23 for the Alouettes. That's going to happen, guaranteed. And from the right of your screen, he comes in. Remember, Don Jackson was part of it as well. He took a punch and got back into the fight there. So he comes in and goes for that knee.
Tommy Campbell needs to get the emotions in check here. Here's Arbuckle. Drops it off wide open is Beggleton. Makes a move. Wrapped up there and hauled down by Patrick Levels, former Calgary Stampeder.
You know, but I get the emotion. And former teammates, and Tommy Campbell used to be a Calgary Stampeder or former team anyway. And then, you know, I understand all of that. But if it trickles into the game and the residual effect is a penalty, it's
First
gone
down,
way too far. And if you're Kakari Jones, you're contemplating taking Tommy Campbell off the field right now. I mean, you got to put the team first, and the goal of the team is to win this football game on the road, a place that the Montreal Alouettes have had a lot of trouble winning over the last few years, and that's what Kahari Jones right now is trying to contemplate. I mean, is this guy going to carry it over after every play?
Arbuckle in the offense knocking on the door, and he just drops it off to Beggleton. Touchdown, Stampeders. Beggleton, second of the year, as he takes it home, and Calgary takes the lead.
So important on misdirection. The guy they want to try and freeze on a play like this is Enoch Mwamba. And so Don Jackson, who you see right in the middle of your screen, is going to move to the left. It's subtle, but Beggleton's coming left to right. So he's got the ball going one way, Jackson going the other, and if it makes Enoch Mwamba just settle his feet for about a split second, that's all 84 needs to get the corner.
And it did. You saw it, hey, just for a moment there. Mwamba had to hesitate, open things up for Beggleton. In Calgary with a penalty-aided drive, extra point hammered home. They now take a 7-3 lead, and now we see another flag with some more pushing and shoving at the end of that play.
Yeah, that was Antonio Simmons who hit, I think it was Shane Bergman, straight in the back with a two-hander.
Simmons shouldn't have any ties. He's just a rookie here in Montreal, but he's a little fired up. And Kahari Jones is first-year head coach. You're right. Needs to make some decisions.
Yeah, look, there's the discussion quickly right there with Tommy Campbell, and I guarantee you that was Kahari Jones
Major
saying,
foul,
don't let it happen
unnecessary
again.
roughness. Montreal number 93 after the play will apply that yardage on the kickoff.
Alouettes take 3 straight penalties there, Dustin, and now they're in a deficit, 4 points down, because guys are taking their own little personal agendas and putting them ahead of the teams. But a well executed misdirection play on the fly sweep, just a little bit like that. Watch Enoch Mwamba in behind and how it freezes him as Beggleton comes the other way. Don Jackson a little bit to left. See how he just hops? That little hop by number 10 doesn't allow him to scrape and get to that play on the outside. He also needs teammates to turn Beggleton back in towards him. But great execution for Calgary. Took advantage of the penalties by the Alouettes. They'll get good field position, or should here when they kick it off, because the penalty to Simmons will be applied on the kickoff.
43-yard drive for Arbuckle and the Stampeders. 3 plays, a few penalties in there helping out as well, and Calgary gets on the board. And the Alouettes, as far as field position goes, they'll be backed up here off this kick. And it is hammered away by Paredes. And that one over the head of the returner. And Ryan will take a knee in the end zone. So how easy is it, or how difficult is it as a coach to try to rein in the emotion when there's so many guys on the sideline?
Well, he knows. I mean, he's been there, done that. And in fact, when you take a look at Kahari Jones' resume, really outstanding. I mean, and I'm not surprised that Vernon Adams is showing success and that he can actually be a starter. Take a look at Kahari Jones' path, because in 2001 he was the outstanding player in the league with Winnipeg. Threw for over 5,046 touchdowns in 02. And then in 2013, in his coaching career, he coached Darian Durant, one of the great runs in playoff and Grey Cup history in the playoffs by Durant. And he was the guy that was working with John Jennings when he had his 5,000-yard season.
Good job so far here with Adams as well, as that one brought ahead by Jeremiah Johnson.
So Dustin, you know, when you take a look at that resume, he understands the emotion of the game, but he also knows that you've got to control it and focus it. That's why he's got Vernon Adams. Vernon Adams, with every other coach he's been with throughout his time here, and it's been a short time, but his time here in the CFL, he has looked like a guy that's probably on the outside looking in, maybe had one more opportunity. All of a sudden, Vernon Adams is a legit starter working with Kahari Jones.
You know, and Adams was one of the guys who was trying to break up that pregame scuffle as well, trying to keep everybody under control. He'll hand it off to Johnson here, lunges ahead, right at the end of the play. Not sure if he had enough. Good job there by Calgary to kind of bust through the line and give him nowhere to go.
This should be close enough that Montreal is going to go ahead and get it, or at least attempt to get it. Tony Washington taking a knee there. He's trying to shake it off. The training staff didn't come out. So the big old lineman, at 6'7", 318, he's talking to the official. He goes, "Hey, we want to get the training staff." He just waves his hands.
arms go up.
Forget it. I'm going to play again. Let's go. Line them up. It's a long way from my heart. Let's go.
They'll step up underneath and plow ahead. And that one will be enough for the first down. And the Alouettes offense will stay on the field.
And Cara Jones balancing the two responsibilities. Got to manage the game as the head coach, just like Dave Dickinson on the other side, but also calling the plays for Vernon Adams.
How much does it change things when you don't have almost 600 yards and Stanback out there?
Well, I think they're going to use Jeremiah Johnson differently, and he told us that yesterday, but they're very comfortable with Jeremiah Johnson in his role, and he's a veteran tailback. So, yeah, they want Stanback back, don't get me wrong, but, they've got a good backup in Jeremiah Johnson.
Well, he had 47 yards on one play earlier in this quarter. Now they'll dump it off to some speed underneath there as they got it into the hands of Ryan, and he's able to take it up over the 50.
Plays like that don't necessarily have to become big plays, monster plays, explosive plays. They can just sort of set the table for the defense. I mean, you start going sideline to sideline with some plays, the defensive ends take a half a step outside to contain. It makes the distance that the middle linebacker, Corey Greenwood, has to travel a little bit longer.
2nd and 4. Adams with 3 targets to his left. Pressure coming, spins away from it. Nice move. Drops it off underneath. I think that's DeVere Posey. And Posey smashing through some equipment on the sidelines as he was forced out of bounds by Nate Hawley. A flag at the end of the play, but Vernon Adams. How about this?
Well, this is composure, and this is understanding, where the protection could break down. Watch the
Major
spin
foul,
move, though.
Unnecessary roughness.
He knows
Calgary,
that the
number
DB
40 after the play. 15 yards to the end of the play, automatic first down, Montreal.
And now Calgary gets the late hit with the shove from Nate Hawley. So both teams taking a turn and letting that early stuff trickle into the game. Brandon Smith talking to his young teammate. Nate Hawley, by the way, starting at linebacker tonight for Winton McManus, who was in the brawl before we got going.
Here's Adams, final play of the quarter. Looking downfield, he'll take a shot downfield towards the end zone. Intercepted, it's Roberson, comes across. His 6th of the season and his first in 5 games. Back to his feet and out to the 22.
Well, he wasn't throwing at Roberson, and Roberson said, well, you don't have to throw at me, I'll just go and get it myself. He went all the way to the middle of the field from his corner spot. Now there is a flag down.
There's a flag just inside the 40.
Was it before the pick or after the pick? Late hit on the quarterback means that the pick comes off the board, but I don't think there was a late hit on Vernon Adams.
Both teams waiting here to get an explanation.
Yeah, he was in there with Derek Wigan going, what do you think? What was that? What'd they get?
After the interception, we have a major foul, unnecessary roughness, Calgary number 36. We're going to go back half the distance to the goal. First down, Calgary.
Corey Greenwood.
Can't end the quarter on a penalty, so they'll play one more, and now Calgary bounce back. You can bet both coaches are going to have to rein in these players. But Trey Roberson coming from his corner spot all the way across. Greenwood right in the middle of your screen. We're going to lose him on this interception. Great pick coming all the way across. He just read the quarterback, read Adams. He knew where he was going to throw. He left his outside third zone
To come all the way over.
all the way over to the middle.
4th interception of the season for Vernon Adams.
You're not going to throw at me? Don't worry, I'll go get it.
Now Don Jackson trying to do something here, pushing ahead at the end of the quarter. Awfully close to a first down. Probably his best pickup of the game and his return here to the Calgary lineup. And the Stampeders will have the ball in the second quarter. They lead 8-3. Welcome back to Calgary, everyone. First quarter in the book, and look at the lead right now for the Calgary Stampeders, 8-3. And while we look at the stats, it's kind of the emotion and the penalties that are becoming the story of the game here, Suits.
Yeah, you're right, Dustin. I mean, you're taking a look at two teams with one, a young quarterback in Nick Arbuckle, two, a quarterback coming off the injured list from last week in Vernon Adams. So he's trying to break some rust off, and you can see that reflected in the numbers. But it's those penalties and controlling your emotion, focusing in on what you have to do, which is execute your assignment and go out and make plays. And we'll see if this lingers into the second quarter, but it could really hurt a team when it comes to winning and losing. One of those penalties at the wrong time is how you get in trouble.
Here is Arbuckle. He'll work to his right, and that one will be complete on the near side of the field for a short pickup as he got it to Richie Sindani. First catch of the game for Sindani.
But two good defenses. Take a look at this Montreal defense. Few former Calgary Stampeders in the lineup. Real good secondary back there. Taylor Loeffler in the middle. They've really come together nicely over the last 4 or 5 weeks.
2nd and 7. Delayed handoff here on the draw to Jackson. They close on him, but wasn't quick enough. He's going to be extremely close to a first down there for the Stampeders. They got it.
Key on a draw play is to get to the middle linebacker. Derek Dennis, the tackle right here, is going to get the job done. If you can get a big man on the middle linebacker, it's big on linebacker. He gets to Mwamba, and that's where he needed to be, so Mwamba couldn't close towards the line of scrimmage to make that play a lot closer to the first down stick than that.
They announced a first down in-house, but they're about a half a yard short. So it'll be 3rd and about 1 here for the Stampeders offense, just inside their own 35.
Pretty good in short yardage, 10 of 12 coming into this game tonight for the Calgary Stampeders.
And that'll be kept and moved ahead. Looks like Arbuckle had more than enough to keep his offense on the field.
Deontay Evans playing inside, and Tommy Campbell. See if he can control his emotions as this game goes on, but they're both former Calgary Stampeders. Evans a CFL All-Star in 18, and Campbell got the nod in 16. Great cover guys. They can do both, play the zone look or else play man-to-man.
Patrick Levels as well, 47 tackles this year for the Alouettes. Nowhere to go, and Levels getting a little jewelry earlier today.
Again, a former Calgary Stampeder who got his Grey Cup ring. When visiting team comes in, the former players get a chance to get their rings. Hey, it was all hugs and high fives.
What happened?
about a half hour later, it was a brawl at midfield. But Patrick Levels is number 3 in the league coming into this week in defensive tackles. I mean, he is a DB that's moved down to the linebacking core. I mean, he's got enough strength and speed down there to be able to get it done. He's at 200 pounds, but 47 defensive tackles. Add a couple sacks to that list. And
said he wanted to come here to Montreal because of the opportunity that he was going to get here, and he's making the most of it right now for the Montreal Alouettes as Antonio Simmons is down and getting looked at right now. His Alouettes trailing the Stampeders here at McMahon 8-3. Spectacular. I mean, good to have him in the lineup.
One of the great catches of the year. I mean, wow.
Here is Arbuckle now. 2nd and 8 from the 35. A flag, likely a hole. He'll take a shot deep. That's going to fall into the arms of Rogers down the field inside the 20. Rogers stays on his feet, rolls ahead. Huge play there, but is it coming back on a hold?
The play took some time to develop, and there was some movement.
Block, hands to the face. Calgary number 62. That's a 10-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
Nila Kazatati, the right tackle, is going to going to get the call here for hands to the face.
Would have been a 60-yard catch by Eric Rogers. Brought back because of this.
Well, he looks like he's unsure, so let's take a look. Bo Banners up the field.
Tough on that angle.
Well, it was tough from that angle. The initial hit was to the face mask. I saw Banner's helmet kind of get dislodged. Often, though, they'll let that go, and if it's maintained, then they call the penalty.
2nd and 18, just a 3-man rush. We'll get it to Huff. Huff's able to bring it ahead over the 35. Not going to be enough for a first down, though. Second catch of the day for Josh Huff into the game in place of Markeith Ambles.
Boy, that takes an explosion play off the board for Nick Arbuckle's got to shake that one off. And a marginal hands to the face call at best. Now, often the hand will start on the chest and slide up a little bit, and if the offensive lineman keeps it up there, they'll do a bit of a count, and if it's up there too long, then they'll call the penalty. That looked very quick.
Maber kicks it away. Shakir Ryan takes it at his own 35, and he's got nowhere to go as Nate Hawley downfield with his 13th special teams tackle of the year. Vernon Adams, Montreal offense back on the field. Vernon Adams 3-1 in his last 4 games as a starter for the Alouettes, but it didn't come easy. Here's what he had to say about the learning curve in the Canadian Football League.
I thought I was going to start right away. I thought it was going to be like kind of like I did in college, FCS to FBS. I thought I was going to go CFL to NFL like right away and things like that. I thought I was going to come start over Kevin Glenn right away, and it didn't work out that way. And I'm glad it didn't, since I had to learn from KG, Darian Durant, Jeremiah Masoli, you know what I'm saying? It's guys I had to learn from, and I think I learned a lot from that, and it's paying off.
Vernon Adams down to DeVere Posey, and he takes it to the 15. So a big
off there.
Yeah, a big play one way by Calgary that was brought back, and there's no flags on this play. So I guess that's what he learned in the Canadian Football League. Look for DeVere Posey.
Well, it's the learning curve, and more on that as we go. But this is a tremendous throw. I thought he was throwing to the short crosser, but he was actually layering that over to Posey on the deeper. It's an over and under route. One guy underneath to try and draw coverage up, the other in behind, and Posey hit in stride down to the 15.
Posey just 3 games so far this year. Obviously, Vernon Adams loves having him back in this lineup. Adams again, this time to Jeremiah Johnson. He'll take it down to the 10 and a little bit further. Flag at the end of the play as he's hauled down and stopped at about the 6.
Sort out this penalty flag. It looked like right where Jeremiah Johnson was
Holding
tackled.
Montreal, number 5. That's a 10-yard penalty. First down repeated.
Posey giveth and Posey taketh away on this drive. So that'll back them back up.
DeVere Posey's the trips receiver to the wide side. Steps up and gets the block, hands outside. That's a problem already. And yeah, Jamar Wall just can't break free from the grasp of DeVere Posey. So correct call on the field, and first down over again.
Fired up crowd here at McMahon cheering on their defense. 1st and 20 from the 25 here for Adams. This time complete. Jake Winneke bouncing off a couple of tackles. Gets it down to the 12.
You know, I found the comments made by Vernon Adams just so true, and it was refreshing that he said what I think a lot of Americans go through. When they come up from major college football programs, they think they're going to step on the field in Canada. They're going to just win the starting job immediately and just roll with it, and possibly get another look down south in the NFL. And it's pro football, and you better pay your dues and understand the game.
There's Adams. He's got Johnson out to his right. He'll try to sweep it and go in the middle, pushing ahead. Got a couple of extra yards there, but only up to about the 11 before he's gang tackled there by Smith and Greenwood.
He's got the right coach to do that, but just real interesting in those comments that Vernon Adams, and a lot of Americans won't say it, but I think they come up thinking, Oh yeah, I played in Alabama or USC or Oregon in Vernon Adams' case, and this should be a walk in the park. And then they get up here and they realize. I mean, Doug Flutie will tell you that. Warren Moon will tell you that. The guys that play in the other positions as well, like linebacker, receiver, all of
Been
them.
a good game so far here today for Vernon Adams, as it looks as though he's figured it out. More on the relationship between Kahari Jones and his quarterback. Let's send it down to Farhan.
Guys, Kahari first got a look at Vernon Adams when he was the offensive coordinator with the BC Lions, because at that time Adams was property of the Lions, and when that team traded his rights away, Jones was pretty disappointed because he was really looking forward to coaching Adams at some point in BC, thought he had just what it took to be very good in this league, and he actually saw this coming. He said the biggest thing he needed was a coach to trust him and give him enough of a sample size, and this year he's seen a newfound maturity in Adams. First of all, his preparation. He comes to meetings fully locked in with good ideas, and on the field, small things don't rattle him as much. He's not as quick to take off and run with it. He's just seen an overall new level of poise. He says he still needs to trust his reads a little bit more, get the ball out a little bit quicker, but he also says that I want him to spend a little bit less time on the tablet. I need him to know it's not a video game, it's football.
Horrible timing of that shot of him on the tablet then, but whatever works for Vernon Adams. Now here's Arbuckle trying to do a Adams impression, moving that ball around a little bit with his feet, but he was in trouble, got back close to the line of scrimmage.
Refreshing, though, that a player admits that, he didn't respect the game enough, and that he had to roll up his sleeves and bring his lunch bucket to work. I mean, if you're the quarterback especially, you have to be the first guy in there almost before the coaching staff arrives at the office, and Kahari Jones knows that as a player, former MOP, and threw for 5,000 yards with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers one year.
2nd and 10 for Arbuckle from his own 35, dumps it off underneath to Jackson, covered well and really nowhere to go on that play. It looked like they might have had it set up nicely, but a good job by the Alouettes defense to burst through there.
Chris Aki with a great play. I mean, there's a lot to like about this defense. Aki's over here at linebacker, and there's a lot to like about this Montreal defense. They just keep gelling. They get better. I mean, this was outside leverage. You see how Aki fought to get outside of that block? Because he knew if he didn't make the tackle, he was turning Don Jackson back into his teammates.
2nd 2 and out of the game for the Stampeders, as Maber will kick this away. And Shakir Ryan waits, has a little bit of room, takes it at his 25. Nowhere to go, as he's wrapped up immediately there by Courtney Stephen. Alouettes trail by 2. Montreal Alouettes fans in attendance, quite a few of them here on a beautiful Saturday night in Calgary, and their Alouettes have marched the field a couple of times here, but have come away with just 2 field goals. Good news, though, their defense holding Calgary in check, and they only trail 8-6. 1st and 10 here from the 31, and nowhere to go on that handoff to Jeremiah Johnson.
Good push in the middle. Devere Posey with that big catch in the last series for Montreal. Posey back in the lineup, missed a few games due to injury, and real good timing because B.J. Cunningham is hurt and he's out, so Posey comes back in, and he's another guy that's basically in that storyline too. This is a former 3rd-round NFL draft pick, and I'm sure he had to go through that learning curve as well, understand the motion and the different rule changes or rule differences.
Here's Adams, quite a bit of time, now looks over the middle, almost picked off at the 50, as that one drops incomplete. Deshaun Amos had a good look at it.
You know who was drafted after Devere Posey?
Do I want to know?
I mean, he went to the Houston Texans. After Posey, Russell Wilson was drafted. Nick Foles was drafted. Kirk Cousins was
quite a few quarterbacks.
Yeah. After Devere Posey.
Kicked away. That'll come down to Williams at the 32. Looking for the far side of the field. Not going to get it, as he is double teamed and hammered down. The finishing blow there from Lalama. Well, that was just teed up for him, wasn't it?
This is what I mean about that aggression that we saw to start the game and even before the game. This is how you focus it. Lama got a chance to focus some of that aggression in a legal way. Ball carrier was still up, and he ran through him.
MLS on TSN continues tonight as the Whitecapped FC go up against DC United. Catch the action 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Pacific only on TSN. Arbuckle fakes the handoff, now gets it into the hands of Huff. And Huff will take it out to about the 40 here on first down. 3 catches here for Josh Huff, so he's getting involved in the early going of this game.
Well, you got to believe, too, that Josh Huff would have worked the second team with Nick Arbuckle. So, you know, I mean, when Bo Levi Mitchell was healthy, he's working with the likes of Eric Rogers and Markeith Ambles, Reggie Begelton, and then Huff on the second team was working with Nick Arbuckle. So there should be some automatic chemistry between the two.
Huff can return kicks as well. 2 kick return touchdowns in the National Football League. Is this completion on the far side, second catch of the year second catch of the game from Mayala. Only had 3 catches on the season coming into this one, so Arbuckle getting him involved here.
Nick Arbuckle is now 10 for 10 passing. He has not thrown an incompletion. He had that big play down the field to Eric Rogers. That was called back due to penalty.
Good start here for Arbuckle. 4-2 as a starter.
Not big numbers, Dustin, but hasn't missed.
Jinxed him. I'm blaming you. I'm not taking the heat for that one. I'm blaming you, Suits.
Well, you know what? Was that tipped to the line because was that John Bowman, or just getting in the throwing lane and he thought better of it and threw it out of bounds? So
he got rid of it. Now 10 of 11 and left here in 2nd and 10 at about midfield for the Stampeders, leading 8-6 with just over 4 minutes to go here in the second quarter. He'll have 3 targets, wide side of the field for Arbuckle. Low snap, picks it up, has some time, moves to his right now. Near side, Mayala stretching out, comes up with it. How about Hergy Mayala?
the 5th time that Hergy Mayala has been targeted this season is one of the great catches you'll see this season. Arbuckle on the run is not quite as accurate as he'd like to be, but it's okay. His receiver made up for it, lays out and goes and gets it.
Now Rogers complete at the 32. He'll be grabbed there by Loeffler and brought down. Let's take another look at Mayala.
Yeah, let's go back to Mayala. Wow, this is nice. This is the type of catch that a young receiver can just grab a ton of confidence. Look at him lay out, pull it in, keep it off the turf. Don't let it get into the hands of the officials as to whether or not this is a good catch or not. Nice. Outside shoulder. Went and got it.
3 catches for Mayala in this game. Only had 3 on the season prior to coming in. Now Jackson kind of picking his way through the right side of that line for the Alouettes. There is a flag back in about the 33 though. Jackson back in the lineup, getting involved. Some of his finest work so far here today as his Calgary Stampeders knocking on the door with a 2-point lead.
Record that he set the other night in Winnipeg. Back to Dustin and Glenn.
Calgary sitting here on the 20 of the Montreal Alouettes, looking to add to their lead. Arbuckle putting together a pretty good drive, finding 3 different receivers so far and working in Jackson as well. Now they'll find Jackson one-on-one near side of the field, spin move, and finally some help comes over there in the form of Muamba, and he's able to wrap him up.
This is great coaching by Dave Dickinson to put Huff down here by himself, and he goes on that slant route, and then they get outside here with Don Jackson. So 1 receiver to the short side of the field. That takes 1 guy away. Now you got the one-on-one here with your starting tailback. That's a matchup that Dave Dickinson, by formation, got to.
Arbuckle now will work from the 8. Quick look to his right, now over the middle. Has some time, a ton of time. Drops it off! Knocked incomplete at the last second. He had Begelton. Begelton says he had it. Official says no.
Well, any scoring play or potential scoring play is automatically reviewed. I'm sure Command Center is taking a look at it right now. Did he have it long enough? Because that's the question. This is slow motion. Both feet touched down with the ball and then lost it as he slid once he was on the turf. Let's take a look again. Super slow motion, so that distorts this, but we've seen a couple of these that are pretty close where, you know, there's the theory, or not the theory, but the part of the decision-making process includes surviving contact with the turf. It looks like they have reviewed it.
And they will say
no catch.
Incomplete.
And Dave Dickinson has no challenge.
He doesn't. He used it questionably in the first quarter. Great effort there by Begelton, I will say that. Now they'll give it to Jackson. Jackson trying to push ahead, getting a little help. Down inside the 5. Stop there. Aki in the mix.
So this linebacking core, we've seen Chris Aki. We know Enoch Mwamba, one of the best middle guys in the league. He steps up. He gets things started on the tackle here. And then here comes the second linebacker to lower his pad level, get in there. And then just for a little bit more of a hit, they put in Taylor Loeffler at 220 from the safety spot, steps in and helps out as well.
Just for good measure, and looked like Jackson was going nowhere after all 3 of those guys got to him. Williams was trying to give him a little help.
Well, I was going to say, give him credit, though. He did take about 2 more steps after the 3 or 4 of them. Well, now he's limping his way off.
Not a good sign there for Jackson. This drive, 74-yard, 9 plays, and it's going to end here in a field goal just inside the 10-yard line. And as far as chip shot goes, that's an easy one for Paredes. Extends the lead to 5 here for the Stampeders.
Let's take one more look at that touchdown attempt. Nick Arbuckle hit Begelton, and you know, we're going to play it in regular speed because David Dickinson is still shaking his head here. I just want to take one more look in regular speed here. Catch or no catch, there is an element of surviving the turf when you go down. See, in real speed, it looked like he didn't survive when he hit the turf, and when we slow it down, it looks like he has it way longer than he actually does.
Adams over the middle. That's complete to about the 40. Back to DeVere Posey. He'll get about half of what he needs and sets up a 2nd and 5 for the Alouettes with $1:40 remaining here in the quarter.
A little better success on first down is going to help Vernon Adams. Both these quarterbacks getting in second and long a little too much.
Nate Hawley on the tackle there. Adams taking a look at things. 3 targets to the left. He's going to go to the right. He's hit as he throws. That's complete on the far side of the field to Posey once again. And Adams bouncing back up and ready to go.
He's limping a little bit after the hit, but the throw was so accurate that even though there's a couple of Stampeders right in the area, there's the hit on Adams that had him shaken up a little bit.
Mike Rose busting through that O-line. Adams will keep it this time. Takes a look downfield. No, was looking for Winicky. And that ball thrown a little bit too far there. Mechie was in coverage.
Second and long, plenty of time to go down and try and get points. Obviously have to convert here, though. Kahari Jones looking deep into that play sheet. DeVere Posey has started to emerge as a primary target in this second quarter for Vernon Adams.
Adams, 10 of 12 for 114 yards. 4 receivers to his left. Jeremiah Johnson standing in there as well. Adams, this one up for grabs. that Vernon Adams has been picked off. Deshaun Amos this time getting the job done.
Yeah, this seemed to be just handling the ball. This seemed to be an issue. Vernon Adams didn't. Ball came out of his hand. It looked like it had a real bad wobble on it. Did it get tipped at the line? Because I may be giving him a bit of an alibi here on a poor decision, but no, it wasn't tipped. He threw around the rush, and then because of that rush and throwing it over top of the defensive lineman, it sailed on him a little bit, and Amos steps in. He knows it, giving Nick Arbuckle a chance at midfield to get some points and some momentum going in at halftime.
Excellent field position for the Stampeders to possibly build on a 5-point cushion right now. Terry Williams in the game, and he'll swing it out to Williams, who makes one man miss. Now Terry Williams far side, tracked down, but there is a flag back at the 46th, and this one likely coming back on the first offensive touch for Williams here today.
Holding Calgary, number 83, prior to yards gained. That'll be 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
Josh Huff, the guilty party here, opening things up for Terry Williams.
Yeah, Josh Huff is out here at number 1, and he's going to come down, try and make a block, and when he does, he just hangs on just a little bit too long on Campbell. See, Campbell tries to spin out, and it looks like he throws him to the ground.
Gates a 21-yard pickup there for Terry Williams, who's in the game for Don Jackson, who limped off on the last offensive possession. So we'll keep tabs on that. Here's Arbuckle. He's going to drop it off underneath. That's up to the 50, complete to Beggleton. And that is where he will be stopped. Pickup of about 8 or 9 there.
That was again a marginal penalty call. I'll say by the book. It looked like it was a holding by Huff, but it takes Calgary out of field goal range unless they can put about 10 yards on the board right here.
2nd and 11 on the 49. Arbuckle near side. Beggleton again has to beat a man. Not going to do it. Tied him up long enough to get a little bit of help there. As Greg Reed, good job there, doing what he needed until help arrived.
The game turned out to be.
Well, it comes down to being a good tackler. When quarterback wants to check it down to a back or just get it out to the sideline, he's hoping that his receiver right there in Beggleton, did he grab his face mask? But he's looking to see if that receiver can make one guy miss. That guy was Greg Reed, and he made the tackle.
Offense will remain on the field here. 3rd and 5 on the Montreal 43. They're going to go for it here. Arbuckle near side, complete. Got the first down, and Michael Klukas quickly stepping out of bounds. Klukas' first catch of the game.
I like this call by Dave Dickinson. I think he's basically saying with the time on the clock before halftime, if you don't get it here, you're still a long field for Vernon Adams. He feels good about his defense and his secondary to be able to stop any sort of Hail Mary pass before the half. So he goes for it on 3rd down. He has a play designed to open up that wideout. Now he's got field goal range.
Now they've got it in the hands of Terry Williams, and Williams, huge pickup there, going for almost 15 on 1st down, and Calgary now putting themselves in a pretty good spot with 3 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, now take the field goal unit, put it out there and get the 3 before the half. Vernon Adams is on the other sideline, happy that it only cost him 3 points and not more, the interception.
Calgary will definitely take it. Interception near midfield. And a drive down, including a 3rd down conversion. Setting up a 27-yard field goal attempt here for Paredes. And Paredes hammers at home, no problem, and that'll do it. Calgary a 14-6 lead on the visitors from the Montreal Alouettes. Alouettes have not won here since 2009. They'll need to get it going in the second half. Let's send it back to Rod in the panel. Montreal Alouettes trailing Calgary at halftime 14-6. Farhan Lalji caught up with defender Tommy Campbell.
Tommy, obviously a lot went on before this game, a lot of emotion early in the game. How do you control your emotions through all of that?
For one, I don't take things personal, man. You know, but at the same time, man, ain't no man gonna disrespect me. You know, I live by principle, so that's all I got to say on that one.
Tell me through just how the defense has played so far in this game. Nick Arbuckle is 17 of 19, but you've managed to contain him for the most part. Is there more you can do?
We got a plan from the second half. You know, at the end of the day, you know, we got to keep holding the field goals, which we've been doing. You know, we gave up one touchdown, but at the end of the day, it's still a one-possession game.
Thanks for this.
All right, now.
Khari Jones watching on as his team gets set here in the second half. How would you summarize their defense in that first half, Glenn?
Yeah, I think early on, the emotions did get a little out of hand, and there was some penalties that led to a Calgary touchdown. And when scoring is hard to come by, you know, there's more emphasis on controlling those emotions. It looks like that's all been diffused at halftime. There's some adjustments that'll be made, and we'll see what happens in the second half. Good completion percentage for Arbuckle. Not a lot of big yardage.
Underway here, Dustin Nielsen, Glenn Suter with you in Calgary, as Ryan looked like he wanted to escape, but he was wrapped up and taken down there by Charlie Power.
Vernon Adams, 7 of 13, 114 yards. Had the 2 interceptions. That was the way he opened up the game, with a real tough throw that he completed. Had a deep one to DeVere Posey in the second quarter. He's got to eliminate those interceptions in this second half.
2 turnovers, big story of the game here thus far. We'll start on their 29. He'll hand it off to Johnson, and really nowhere to go there. Maybe a yard as Wall closed in quickly on him.
Yeah, about midway through the second quarter, the Calgary defense turned it up when it came to their run-stopping defense. Been pretty good on the season, about the same as they were last year. Not the same ranking, but the same yards per game allowed along the ground. And Jeremiah Johnson had a couple of early runs, but they've shut the door since then.
2nd and 9 from the Montreal 30 here. 4 targets to the right for Adams. Now they'll swing Johnson out to the left as well and hand this off to Quan Bray. And yesterday, Khari Jones talked about wanting to do some different things to get Quan Bray involved. I believe that's his first touch of the game. Targeted a couple of times in the first half, and I can see what they're thinking. That one didn't work, though.
Got Jeremiah Johnson out of the backfield to the left, and then basically replaced him with Quan Bray to come in and play tailback on the play. Didn't look like they had something at the line of scrimmage, but the Calgary defense rallied.
Beatty ready to kick this away. Stands on his own 21. Terry Williams awaiting the return at the Calgary 25. He'll step up a couple of yards, take it at the 33. Williams not going to get away from the combo, but there is a flag on the play as well. Did he get his face mask? He had him wrapped up. It looked like he got his helmet on the way through. So move the ball ahead for Calgary.
Major foul, face mask. Calgary, number 38. That's a 15-yard penalty. First down, Calgary.
It's on the ball carrier.
Yeah, let's take a look. Terry Williams. See, the stiff arm at the beginning was fine, and then he hung on and threw him to the ground as he went to the ground. So
I stand corrected. You don't see that very often.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Offensive face mask.
Backs Arbuckle up. And now they'll work from inside their own 20. Steps up. Little one-hopper is able to drop it off there, the 25, to Don Jackson, who is back in the game here offensively after missing the final few minutes of that opening half.
Yeah, Don Jackson was 7 carries in the first half, 42 yards, his longest an 11-yarder. Both teams had a couple plays taken off due to penalty.
He's over 1,000 yards now on his career, had 924 of those in 13 games last season with the Stampeders. Now they'll pitch it out to him again. He'll take it to the 26 before he's forced out of bounds. I think Tommy Campbell was in on that.
Boy, Nick Arbuckle's completion percentage in the first half off the hook, 18 of 20. And when I look at the numbers, and 150 yards basically, so he's on pace for 300. It was a very good first half as far as his accuracy. And the big play to Eric Rogers, that was over 50 yards, and that came off the board due to penalty. Made a big difference in the numbers.
Kicking it away here, that bounces through the legs of Ryan, gets back to scoop it up as Courtney Stephen closed on him quickly, and Vernon Adams and this Montreal offense need to get in stride here, trailing by 8 in the third quarter.
Only Ram delivers more of what you need. Ram gives you more power, more payload, more towing, more luxury, more than any other truck is capable of, and more than enough to get named Motor Trend's 2019 Truck of the Year. The all-new Ram 1500 and the new Ram 3500. Right now, get up to $9,450 in total discounts on the new 2019 Ram Heavy Duty Pickup.
When your work takes you away, what you bring with you matters. Away makes luggage that works for you, that keeps you moving, keeps you powered, and is yours to keep for life. So you can focus on the big picture and the little moments that get you there. Try any suitcase for 100 days at awaytravel.com.
Need a change of scenery? Kayak searches hundreds of travel sites and lets you filter by takeoff time, layovers, and more, so you can be confident you're getting the right flight at the best price. Kayak. Search one and done.
Voltaren Emulgel back and muscle pain, now with an innovative no-mess applicator. Simply pull, squeeze, and apply right where it hurts to relieve pain and inflammation at its source. And no more messy hands. Voltaren Emulgel back and muscle pain.
This is our game now. Starting September 1st, $1 million touchdown to win at the new home with Save on Foods. Get in the game, shop Save on Foods.
Vernon Adams, Montreal Alouettes back on the field, trailing 14-6 here, early stages of the second half. Offense having to settle for just a pair of field goals from Boris Beatty so far in this game. This time, Adams will keep it, rolling to his right, slinging it downfield to DeVere Posey, breaks one tackle, and takes it down inside the 40 as DeVere Posey, 6 catches now, by far the most targeted receiver for Vernon Adams.
Love the play from Kahari Jones in the play calling department to get his athletic quarterback from a different launch point. Get him outside of that pressure. Get him outside of the pocket where he can either run or throw the ball. Has a couple of options. He has DeVere Posey on the out route, playing to the strength of his quarterback.
36-yard pickup there for Posey and the Alouettes offense. 3 targets to the left this time. Brad goes to the right. That one too high. Was looking for Lewis. Does get a flag as Lewis looked like he wanted to go up and couldn't get off the field.
Trey Roberson, when you play against Trey Roberson in the short side.
Calgary, number 31. It's a 10-yard penalty and automatic first down. Montreal.
It must feel like you've got number 31 in your pocket, like you just and you're trying to get him away from you.
He hasn't been thrown towards many times tonight. 2 or 3 maybe. Does have the big interception in this game as well. We're talking about Roberson for Calgary, 6 picks on the year. Adams this time will go to the left. Nice snag there with one hand by Johnson, and now bounces it to the outside. He'll have a first down, and you have to give effort points there to Jeremiah Johnson. Wow, what a play.
Couple of things here. One, the one-hand catch, and this was a bit of a fastball from Vernon Adams. I think he saw Kasher there, and he wanted to make sure he didn't throw it too soft so that he could get his hands on it. So one-handed catch basically brought it down. Jeremiah Johnson, love how he got his base wide there on the second hit to break that tackle.
1st and 10 from the 16 of Calgary here for Adams and the Montreal offense. Quickly into the turf. And that one a little too low for Posey that time.
But this is an athlete that they are so confident about. This is a warm-up before the fight tonight. And watch Jeremiah Johnson just casually. There we go. Yeah, no problem. Behind the back catch.
That was ridiculous. The one hand, it doesn't seem as special now. Adams looking over the middle, shot to the end zone, got him! Touchdown once again. Jake Winicky, his 4th of the season, and the big fella goes low to haul that one in for the Alouettes.
Jake Winicky is the beneficiary of a fastball. I mean, Vernon Adams put some heat on this baby. He's got a nice throwing lane in there, and look at him drop it right in there low so that Winicky can protect himself, scoop that ball, get his arms underneath it, accuracy bang on to protect his receiver, get it down there inside the 5.
Alouettes offense staying on the field to go for 2. Adams looking to the left, he's going to throw one up. Lewis, does he get it? He does, spinning, kind of one-handed, holding off the defender, and that's a tie game.
A 2-point catch for
Eugene Lewis, one-on-one, looking for 2. How about this for an extra 2 points? Got it. Tied at 14. An impressive start here to the second half for Vernon Adams and his receivers.
I'm going to talk directly to Matt Dunnigan and to Henry Burris. Look at the feet. Look at the footwork from Vernon Adams. He steps into this throw so nicely, puts the heat on it, gets Winicky down for the goal line. This is the throw behind, deliberate back shoulder throw for the 2-point convert. And it looked like Trey Roberson turned a little bit early and then lost it. It was on the opposite side of where Roberson was trying to knock it down. You don't beat him very often.
73-yard, 5-play drive. Adams 4 for 5 on the drive. And I like the fact that they went at Roberson. We were just talking about it. You're going for 2. It was just one-on-one coverage, and they put Lewis out there against Roberson, and he won the battle.
Great footwork on that throw to Winicky for the touchdown.
How about Winicky so far this season? Almost half of his catches have been touchdowns. He had 8 catches coming into this game. He's got 10 now. 4 of them are for touchdown. 11 now, I believe. He's got 4 touchdowns on the season. And usually for a big guy, you're not seeing him go down at the goal line to catch the one that he just did. Arbuckle looking to answer back now. He's going to roll to his right, waited for it to open up, got it to Huff, who made one man miss, and knocked down from behind from Simmons, who was in pursuit.
Antonio Simmons left in that first half, and he was injured. Nick came back, delayed the play initially with the hit on Huff, and then tracked him down from behind. And that's saying something for a big man, but this guy can run. His measurables off the hook. When you looked at his pro day numbers, at 6'3", 250, ran a 4.49.
Pretty big for a big man. Pretty quick for a big man, I should say. Now there's complete. Lucas incomplete. Alouettes almost wanted to scoop that up like it was completion and a fumble, but batted away from the former Calgary Dino.
Our interview at halftime, Tommy Campbell breaking on this. But I believe this was just a drop. Campbell came down and made sure of the tackle just in case.
Back-to-back 2-and-outs here for the Stampeders, and smack dab in the middle of it was a touchdown drive for the Alouettes to even this game at 14. Ryan takes it at his 35, runs into trouble, and spins to the ground just inside the 40 as Vernon Adams marches back out onto the field, even with the Stampeders. We're on a Saturday here at McMahon Stadium, and it's the Alouettes with the momentum in the second half, coming back and tying this game at 14 apiece. Offense back on the field. Flag flies. Adams takes the shot, looking down for Lewis. Broken up. Flying across there and knocking it away was Brandon Smith. Looked like a Montreal receiver may have jumped early on the play.
the veteran, just solid back there. And he's the guy who plays into the boundary with Roberson. Roberson will tell you that he's learned a ton from Brandon Smith.
12-year veteran here in Calgary.
Well, you can get to a level halfback and corner where you don't have to talk anymore. You just know.
Offside, Calgary, number 94. Holding, Montreal, number 66. Will balance at the line of scrimmage. Repeat first down.
So we'll just have a do-over here, a first down.
You're just reading each other's movements, and you can, you know, they'll make signals and they'll have those early in the season. But when you've got two like that playing in the short side together, you don't have to communicate much. You know where your partner's going to be, and one relies on the other.
First and 15 here for Vernon Adams.
There's a little talk. Brandon Smith letting Roberson know what he needs outside.
4 targets to the right here for Adams, and he's going to roll to the right. Design quarterback keeper, and he's able to get 3, maybe 4 yards there as he moves ahead and comes up with a little bit of a limp.
Corey Greenwood with a big game in their loss to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. He's got 3 tackles in the first half tonight, but he had a 12-tackle game against Winnipeg in that losing effort, and that got him to the league lead. Now he is on pace right now to get to 137 defensive tackles. That's 14 more than Singleton had last year.
Third most of all time. Adams with some time gets it to Winicky. Big fella makes a man miss, gets an extra push, and will pick up the first down as he got it up to the 50.
Well, I'm jinxing everybody tonight. I think Dustin,
you're the worst.
Because when Arbuckle was 10 for 10, I said he was 10 for 10 and he threw an incompletion, and now I talk about the great tackling from Corey Greenwood, and Jake Winicky beat him. But hey, that happens, and he knows it. I mean, you just get back and reload. He got him on the second try, got the first down, but lived to play another day.
4th catch of the game for Winicky. This time they'll hand it off to Johnson. And he'll take a right smack dab to midfield.
But think about that, Dustin, when you know, the monster season that Alex Singleton had, and by all accounts, he's going to make the Philadelphia Eagles roster this year. He's having a great preseason down there. He's following his Calgary Stampeders, and Corey Greenwood's on pace to have 14 more tackles than he did last year. Now, he had 12 last week, and that bumps up the average. But I'll tell you what, he is getting it done in the middle.
From midfield, 2nd and 5 for Adams. Some pressure coming this time. Gets it away. That'll be complete for a first down. First catch of the game for Quan Bray.
Take a look at the eyes of Vernon Adams. He's locked in a little bit to Bray, but he's got what looked like a zone drop from Jamar Wall into the middle of the field, and enough to freeze Wall. Sometimes looking right at the DB makes him double clutch a little bit. Why are you staring me down?
First and 10 from the 48. Takes it to the right. Will drop it off underneath the Stone. And Ryder Stone with a nice move. Looked like that play might not go anywhere, but he's able to get it up to about the 45. Backup running back in the game here for a play for the Alouettes.
You know, it's always the matchup, the middle linebacker versus tailback, and when Jeremiah Johnson takes off out of the backfield here, the starting tailback, he brings some attention. He got Corey Greenwood going out there with him. That was why Kahari Jones goes with this type of play. Make him the decoy, pull Greenwood out of the middle, and go the opposite direction.
2nd and 7. Adams steps up through the pocket. Quick fake. What a move! How about that? How do you do? Vernon Adams got the dancing feet moving here in the 3rd quarter.
Wow. I mean, this is the type of play where I don't care how good you are are out there trying to grab all your stuff. I mean, when you get on this little move, what a cut back into the middle, and it's on Corey Greenwood, And right now, Corey Greenwood's go, okay, where's my shoes? I've lost my shoes. I've lost my shoulder pad. What a move by Vernon Adams.
Here's Adams now with a fresh set of downs to work with. Hands it off to Johnson. Rolls right up the middle and takes it down to the 15 as the Alouettes marching here for the second consecutive drive.
They got a nice drive going using the athleticism their quarterback. Now coming back, Vernon Adams looked like he had a little bit of a limp going. Maybe he tweaked something on that big move on Corey Greenwood, but this just an inside cut. Once the quarterback has beaten you to the edges, it softens those edges, and then they widen a little bit more, and then it's inside run time. Good play calling by Kahari Jones.
1st and 10 now from the 16. Back to Johnson again. Wanted the middle, took it, and he'll take it down to just inside the 10-yard line.
See how Vernon Adams turns here and holds the ball. He's doing this for a reason. This is that zone read play. Watch him hold the ball. He's holding it to show the defense. There's the ball, guys. Now, sometimes he'll pull it, and sometimes he'll give it. But he wants to show the defense, here's the ball. Now you see it. Now you don't. And that's part of the zone read technique.
They're kind of feeling it right now, aren't they?
They've got the Calgary defense a little bit off balance with some run from their quarterback. He's made some accurate throws. 2nd down.
Greenwood discussing things with J.C. Sherritt on the sideline there. We'll be back in Calgary. Get into a new season of CTV's The Amazing Race Canada as we bring the country together one pit stop at a time. The Amazing Race Canada, all new Tuesday at 9, 8 Mountain, only on CTV.
I got a new show, The Amazing Move. Hey, this drive has been sort of complimentary football where you get Jeremiah Johnson involved between the tackles and softening the edges a little bit when Vernon Adams gets outside. Again, there's that zone read look where he shows the ball to the defense. This time gives it to Jeremiah Johnson inside. Sometimes he'll pull it. That's the progression of the play.
3 minutes left to go here in the 3rd quarter. Second halves in the first downs in the second half. 8 from Montreal. Nothing for Calgary right now.
Yeah, Brent Monson's trying to catch up here. Just figure out exactly what he has to do to switch it up.
2nd and 3 from the 9 for Vernon Adams. Gives it to Johnson once again. Nowhere to go. Trying to find some space. Not going to happen. And he stopped at about the 10. That'll bring up 3rd down. And Boris Beatty will trot out onto the field.
Well, Brent Monson's answer was to, especially down in this part of the field, was to bring a linebacker up and try and take away a gap. Gap cancellation up front in trying to control Jeremiah Johnson. So he's going to bring, in this case, it's going to be Nate Hawley. He's going to step up here. He just steps right into the hole. He's scraping to it. Make sure that you take all the gaps away. You see Nate Hawley fills that A gap, which is between the center and the guard, and he makes Jeremiah Johnson bounce around. And when you get Jeremiah Johnson bouncing and going sideline to sideline, you got a chance to bring him down.
Very effective game here from Johnson, of course, playing in place of Stanback.
Well, Kahari Jones keeps it loose down there. He knows what it's like to be a player and you get all tight and tense, and he's down there just kind of up and down the sideline telling the guys, hey, relax, have some fun, don't worry about it. We're right where we want to be on the road.
Running downhill a little bit right now, and he's enjoying it for sure on the sidelines.
Well, in timeout, this is a timeout. He's got the music going. They pump it up here in Calgary, and
he looks like you in the booth.
Well, yeah, you know, especially when it's a country tune, I get going a little bit, but you know, he's just keeping it loose.
Beatty hammers it through, and Montreal Alouettes have erased a 8-point deficit and now lead by 3, 17-14, with more on Kahari Jones. Let's send it down to our man Farhan.
Yeah, Suits, you were talking about how well he's been calling plays in this game, and he said that calling plays for an athletic quarterback is something he really had to wrap his head around during this offseason. He wasn't known for his scrambling ability as a quarterback himself, and early on in his career as a coordinator, he called more. He really had to think about all the quarterback sweeps, the quarterback draws, things that you also have to be allowed to call. He harkens back to his time as the BC Lions offensive coordinator. He'd get the game plan in, and then Wally Buono would come into his office and make a few changes. So this year, week 1, he got his game plan, the install already. He looked over his shoulder thinking Wally would come. I can do what I want.
Freedom for Kahari Jones.
The winningest coach of all time is probably sitting at home watching, and I hope you're doing well, Wally. Coach Buono, of course. Are you telling me that Coach Wally Buono micromanaged at times? Yeah, I bet he did.
Second.
Can't say enough, Dustin, about Kahari Jones, and since he's taken over this Montreal Alouettes team, they are no longer the free space, are they?
Well, and I think it's impressive with how quickly he's done it. As there's Jackson with a little bit of a spin move, but he's tripped up and knocked down on the play. But he seems so relaxed. He's great to chat to. I've done a couple of Alouettes games now, and he just seems like a very personable guy, and it probably comes across that way with his players as well.
Well, he's honest. You know, he's going to be honest with them, but it starts with the game planning, and it starts with putting together a plan for all 3 phases of the game that the guys can grasp and say, wow, we got a chance here with this.
Montreal is going to get the ball back. Excellent click there kick by Maver. And Ryan will be forced to take it out just inside his own 25. Really not much going on in the return game for either team so far here. And there's Vernon Adams. A little bit of a hitch in his giddy up as he comes back out here. That was on the designed quarterback run to the right. When he picked up about 4 or 5 yards, he came up limping.
I think you've done a game with Matt Dunnigan, haven't you? A little hitch in his video.
I'm stealing lines from Dunnigan, but that's where I'll stop. I couldn't keep up with Dunny, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he and Blackie did a nice job of the game last night in Toronto. Looked like it was a good crowd, good football game, 1 possession. Congratulations to Edmonton on the win.
Back-to-back scoring drives for the Alouettes to look to build on it here. A touchdown and then a field goal, and now an incompletion as he was looking for Moisan.
Jeremiah Johnson, remember we talked about one more start for him with William Stanback still on the injured list, and it's been a good one. Here on the road, he's, of course, as a former Lion, he's played against Calgary many, many times. And 10 carries, 86 yards for Jeremiah Johnson tonight. 47 was his long run. That was right out of the gate early in this game.
2nd and 10 now for Adams. 4-man rush. He's got some time up for grabs. Almost intercepted. Would have been the 3rd of the game there for Adams, says Jamar Wall had a good look at it.
Boy, did he ever. And that's the one where you owe your teammates some push-ups, because I think sometimes when this happens, it happens rarely because the quarterbacks are so good and so precise, but sometimes as a DB you're going, he threw it right to me. Believe me, I've been there where you break on a ball thinking I'm gonna have to make an adjustment here towards the receiver, and then it throws it right to you, throws you off.
PD lets it fly from about his 12. That'll come down to Williams at the 35. Williams looking for a hole, not going to get it. Forced out at about the 41. And that is where Calgary will go to work at the beginning of the 4th quarter. They find themselves at home, trailing 17-14. Montreal Alouettes have clawed their way back to take a lead here through 3 quarters, 17-14. Maybe one of the most interesting things here, the Calgary Stampeders, you see there with 15 downs, none of them have come in the second half. The Alouettes defense, and I think it was Tommy Campbell who said we've got something for them in the second half, and my goodness, they have, and it's worked.
Well, yeah, and in the first half, Calgary had the edge in time of possession. Matt Dunnigan mentioned it at halftime. Arbuckle had more yards passing than Vernon Adams. That has changed. And a couple of big drives by Vernon Adams in this offense, both involving Jeremiah Johnson in the run game, but also some accurate throws and taking the lead.
Arbuckle will work here 1st and 10. Hands it off, and that's a big pickup. That'll go for a first down, as well as Beggleton getting involved in the offense here in the second half.
Well, and no matter what the score is at this point and what's happened in that third quarter, this is the Calgary Stampeders, and this is the Calgary Stampeders at McMahon Stadium. This is a team that has a 54-9 record since 2012 at home.
Stampeders 1-1 this year when trailing after the third quarter. Arbuckle quickly complete to Rogers. Wrapped up. And they'll get about half of what they need there on first down.
Nice little one-on-one here with Patrick Levels. He's going to try and stem him up the field and then just sit down. He sees him drop into his zone, and the next guy inside will be Enoch Mwamba. But timing there from Arbuckle.
They'll give Rogers 5 on the catch, setting up a 2nd and 5 here from the Montreal 51. Arbuckle with 3 targets to his left. Now Jackson will flare out to the right. Flag as the ball is snapped, a couple of them. And Jackson is wrapped up just shy of the first down there as Loeffler comes flying over. Moves so well for a big man.
He gets up on the limp. I think that was going to be offside. Calgary. Looked like their receivers jumped the gun, but you never know.
A few Alouettes on the field pointing in that direction.
That's a 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
Eric Rogers guilty of the infraction.
Kahari Jones will take it because that play out to the sideline right by their bench was too close to the first down. Probably thought Dave would go for it anyway. It was a good tackle by Loeffler, but
would have been about a yard though, eh?
Yeah, about a yard. So he takes the penalty and puts them back to 2nd and 10.
That's where they'll work back on their own side of midfield. Arbuckle with a quick glance over to Huff. Now he's going to look down the middle of the field. Has a man complete. Beggleton touchdown. 2nd of the game for Reggie. And the Stampeders back on top.
Hits Reggie Beggleton in stride, and Beggleton was full speed on the post, right through the middle. Little look off by Nick Arbuckle. Important to draw any safety help away from the middle. He got the matchup he wanted to the field, and it was post to Reggie Beggleton, and the touchdown horse does a lap.
A nice answer here from Arbuckle and the Stampeders after it looked as though their offense had wilted away in the third quarter. They start the fourth quarter with a bang, and now Paredes, the extra point is good, and the lead is 4.
This is Calgary, McMahon Stadium.
You just said it.
Not over yet.
Reggie Beggleton getting in behind the defense. Arbuckle finds them for the major as 84 in red continues to eat up this Montreal defense. Reggie Beggleton has the Calgary Stampeders back on top. He's been doing it on the ground and through the air today. And as you see, Loeffler and Mwamba there on the sidelines having a discussion. This kick will be brought in just inside the 10 by Ryan. And he gets it back out just outside the 25 before he's tripped up on the return.
No question there that thought this is the Beggleton route right here. He's in that number 3 spot. He's got the post, and he's got Danny on the corner. This deep person right here, deep DB's got to play true to both of them straight down the middle. He widens, doesn't get any help from the backside, and Beggleton right down Main Street. Have to make out numbers from that long shot, but that was the bust in the coverage.
So Montreal now trying to answer back. Adams is going to go deep into double coverage, up for grabs, bouncing out of the hands of Eugene Lewis.
Example though there of Brandon Smith dropping and playing true in the deep coverage. Eugene Lewis is out here all by himself, and he's in complementary routes with the inside receiver Posey, but he's got deep help. Roberson has deep help from 28, and that's playing the ball once it comes in the air. Once it's thrown.
As Lewis had worked his way in behind Roberson, and Glenn pointed out, Smith coming over to help out. 2nd and 10 now for Adams. Wide side of the field, and that'll be complete. As he went right back to Eugene Lewis. This time he was working on the other side against Raheem Wilson.
That was a throw from deep in the pocket. It's a wide field out throw from deep in the pocket with Kasher in his face to get the first down in the new set. Calgary voided that part of the field, thinking that was too hard a throw to make.
Adams got it done that time and moves his team up to the 41, trailing 21-17. This time they'll hand it off to Johnson, and a pretty good push on first down from Jeremiah Johnson, and now looks as though the ball, Smith comes up with the ball, but we'll have to get another look at this.
Well, Dave Dickinson does not have a challenge, so he can't go to that well, but let's take a look and see. Ball does come out, and I know Brandon Smith recovered it. Oh, looked like his elbow and possibly that left knee down on the ground first. Good call by the official.
Looked like the knee might have been down. Now Adams dumps it off, and Posey could not hang on 2nd down as Adams flung that thing in there a little bit low.
Well, it was going to be a one-on-one with Nate Hawley. And again, this is a Kahari Jones matchup that he wanted. If he can make that catch, and that's very, very catchable. That's on Devere Posey. He took a look at Hawley closing in on him and hadn't secured the catch.
Yeah, it wasn't as low as I thought on that second look from behind. Beatty to kick it away. Pressure coming. Looks like it was deflected. And that one will bounce down to about the 35. Picked up there by Williams. Of course, the flag flies as he's flung backwards about 5 or 6 yards. Good pressure there from the Stampeders, busting through the line and getting a piece of it.
I think it was Fraser Sopik that got a piece of that.
Here's a look as Beatty let it fly. Was it Sopik with an arm? Yes, it was. Good field position for the Stampeders when we return. Calgary Stampeders leading 21-17 on Legacy Night here at McMahon, featuring, of course, this man, John Corners. He's with Farhan.
John, I'm sure you enjoyed coming back out, running onto the field with another cast of teammates on Legacy Night. They even gave you your own bobblehead. Now, the head matches, but that's a small bobblehead. You're a big guy.
You know, I like the bobblehead. You know, the Hall of Fame bust, that was a little bit bigger than mine. So, you know, it's nice to have the two contrasting. You got the bigger, you got the smaller. That's a nice little package right there.
Absolutely, and I want to ask you about the Hall of Fame, and what did that mean to you? Because it seemed like you were pretty humbled when it happened.
No, honestly, at first I want to thank Mark DeNoble, CEO of Hall of Fame. You know, he was awesome. He set it all up very nice. He made it feel like we were truly being honored. Amazing.
We'll get to the play, and then we'll get back to you in a moment here.
No flag on the play. Beggleton goes deep again as Arbuckle finds him down the seam.
You know, one of the things missing from Arbuckle's game, and he is 4-1 on the season as the Calgary starter, was this deep ball. He just hadn't connected on a bunch of them. He had 7 over 30 yards coming in. The Calgary Stampeders did, and that's back-to-back deep throws from Reggie Beggleton. Throw and catch from Arbuckle to Beggleton, and Kahari Jones going another bust, back-to-back busts in the secondary.
3rd touchdown of the game for Reggie Beggleton. And Taylor Loeffler is down, now getting helped up at midfield. And he's getting helped off the field this time. Back-to-back big plays from the Calgary Stampeders put them back on top by 10 with an extra point pending.
All of a sudden looks like a track meet out there with Begelton running the 100 meters.
Begelton,
166 yards in 2 plays, basically.
Yeah, the majority of that came. You're right. He's got 7 catches on 8 targets for 166. But as Glenn mentioned, the majority of that coming on 2 huge plays here in the last 5 minutes of this football game, as Reggie Begelton has put the Stampeders back on top. Let's finish that conversation with Farhad and the Hall of Famer.
I'm told the last time Jermaine did a sideline interview with you, Calgary scored as well, so you're good luck. but back to the Hall of Fame, what did that honor mean to you? You've had a lot.
You know, like you said, very humbled. But for me, it was just sort of you know, the end of a goal. You know, at the end of anything I could do in football, to see it all come together into that, it was amazing. You know, I thanked everybody I could possibly think of. But, you know, at the end of the day, you know, my teammates helped me get to this point, and I want to thank them the most.
Still a popular figure here in Calgary. Thanks for doing this, John.
Thanks, guys.
They love him, and I'm talking about John, not Farhad. But they also love Farhad here as well.
Just not as much.
Hey, they'd allow Farhad to interview everybody on the sideline if it kept leading to huge touchdowns like that last one.
It might be a Calgary request. But right now, what Begelton's saying, yeah, I mean, the guy fell down. It was Taylor Loeffler. It looked like Loeffler was trying to show that he was going to come down, maybe run a safety blitz, and then when he bailed or tried to bail, that's when his knee buckled, and Begelton went right behind him.
Stampeders taking advantage of that opening, and now they lead 28-17. Shakir Ryan looking to change that. Made one man miss, not the second. He's wrapped up there by Nate Hawley.
Taylor Loeffler is playing deep in the safety. He's got really good position. There he is there now. He's going to sneak up a little bit like he's going to blitz, and then his thought is to bail out of there and be in the deep middle. What happens is Begelton is just running his route. He steps up, goes to jam right there and go back out of that back pedal and turn, and watch what happens. Down he goes. Knee just locked on him, and Begelton is gone.
Tough break there for Loeffler. Calgary had 18 yards in the third quarter. They've got 143 in the first 5 minutes and 19 seconds of the fourth quarter. Now Montreal looking to get some of that momentum back as they'll dump it off to Jeremiah Johnson out of the backfield.
Calgary Stampeders have not lost 2 games, more than 2 games in a season since John Huffnagel came back. And he and Dave Dickinson have been working this program ever since. In the last 8 years, they have not lost more than 2 at home in a single season. And they've already dropped 1 this year.
Adams over the middle, quick hitter, Posey, first down, out to the 30.
So when you think about John Huffnagel returning, he had to get back the whole organization on track when he did, coming back from the National Football League. Hired Dave Dickinson shortly after that, and has had Dave work up through the program. That's been part of the succession plan here in Calgary. Boy, they've been great at home. I mean, think about that, Dustin. The record of 54-9.
It's crazy.
It's
ridiculous.
It's
like, I'd put that probably up against any home record in any professional sport in North America over the last 7, 8, 9 years. It's
now
phenomenal.
there's still work to do here, and this game is not over. Vern Adams got a little drive going, but wow.
Another first down on that last pass, and now here's a possible 3rd first down in a row as Jeremiah Johnson moves ahead close to 10 on that first down carry. Previously, it was Eugene Lewis with another catch there from Adams.
Yeah, and we've got 8 minutes. I mean, in the CFL, that's plenty of time.
It's just been a tale of 2 quarters here. The third quarter was all Alouettes, and the first half of the fourth quarter has been dominated by the Stampeders.
Well, 2 big plays to Begelton. Busted coverages and blew it open to the Calgary lead, 2-possession lead.
2nd and inches here. The work out of the shotgun after a pickup of 9 for Johnson. 2 backs in there with Adams. He's going to take a shot deep here. That one up for grabs. Quan Bray was looking to get there. Was Bray with the interference? He was being defended there by Raheem Wilson.
Yeah, I think Quan Bray here is probably going to get the call. I think Raheem Wilson was in great position and actually just tracking the ball down, and Quan Bray was slapping at him. And
pass interference. Montreal on the offense. The 10-yard penalty remains second down.
That one hurts because you're second in inches, so you thought you'd take a shot because worst case you'd be third in inches, and now you're backed up.
Great position from Raheem Wilson. He's running the route for him, and then Bray just sort of panics thinking it's an interception and grabs him. Offensive pass interference, and you're right, it's on second down, so now you're second and 10. You just handed your quarterback a second and long situation.
Quan Bray targeted 37 times this season in just 5 games, but quiet here, just one catch today. Adams, flags fly as he dumps it off. That'll be complete to Eugene Lewis. Lewis along the sideline, taken down just inside the 30, but 2 flags in behind the play as Adams rolled to the right. Looked like a hold somewhere along the way.
I was going to say that's right in the holding area when a play extends that long.
Montreal, number 67. That's a 10-yard penalty. Remains second down.
39 yards is what it would have been.
Left tackle, Tony Washington. Yeah, there's tough ones. We've seen some marginal calls tonight. That's not one of them.
Hanging on for dear life. Chris Kasher trying to power through there. And that backs Montreal. They were second in inches, and now they're second and 20 here from their own 32. So penalties killing this drive thus far. Ari Jones watching on.
You know, they're small lead, 3-point lead, and then 2 broken coverages, and then a couple of penalties in this second half. It's really broken down to that so far for Ari Jones, trying to find that elusive win on the road here in Calgary.
One target to the left here for Adams. He looks to the right. They drop it off to Johnson, but Calgary was all over that. And it was Nate Hawley who originally wrapped him up and eventually held on long enough to take him down.
Yeah, that's a call from Kahari Jones saying, I think we're going to punt here. And basically, hey, if our tailback miraculously beats 12 defenders and we get 20, okay. If not, let's limit the damage because they were going in the wrong direction.
Boris Beatty, good look there at Terry Williams waiting downfield for this kick. Gets that one away clean. High towering punt that comes down at the Calgary 30. Williams trying to find some room along the near side here, but nowhere to go as Arbuckle and the Calgary Stampeders come back on the field looking to build on a couple of big touchdowns to Beggleton. They lead 28-17.
Tonight's Coors Light answering the call focuses on Vernon Adams Jr. and what difference he might make. Well, there are your numbers. 237 yards passing, a touchdown, 2 picks. Good start to the second half, but his Alouettes have fallen way behind Calgary. Now let's go back to Dustin and Glenn.
Thank you very much, Rod. 28-17, Calgary leading Vernon Adams and the Montreal Alouettes. Here's Arbuckle. Oh, flea flicker. Back to Arbuckle. Near side, Michael Kukas, and he's got it at the 40. Bounces out of bounds, but that will be a completion to Klukas, his second catch of the game. And this is a big one as the Stampeders having some fun on offense right now.
Yeah, that flea flicker, but this is Beggleton right here. Beggleton has caught the last 2 deep balls, and he goes deep, and this time they see him and they say, well, we better react to that guy because he's the guy deep, and all by himself along the sideline was Klukas because everyone said, hey, Beggleton keeps running by everybody.
Perfect design as Klukas had that knocked out of bounds. Tommy Campbell closed in on him. There's a challenge flag that has just been thrown on the far side of the field by Kahari Jones.
Well, you might as well use it because five minutes to go. He needs something good to happen.
Montreal is challenging the previous rule of a completed pass. We'll review the play.
You know, last look, it looked like that ball did.
Well, he
kind of bounce around a little bit.
Yeah, he thought when he looked at the replay, Dustin, that Klukas juggled it a little bit, never really had control, and then it falls incomplete. So he wants him to take another look at it. We'll be sending all the angles.
Here we go.
Again, this is slow motion, so. Again, I've said this before in situations like this, but the receiver doesn't necessarily have to tuck it under his arm to have possession. You can run with it in your hands like that, but that's again in super slow-mo. We'll give you a regular speed look as well.
It looked like it did pop out on its own, but it looked like he also had taken a couple of steps.
There's your regular speed, and yeah. I think it's worth the challenge for Kahari Jones.
Might as well at this point of the game. 1 for 3 on the year. Just 5:38 remaining, and his team down by 11 right now.
You know, I think when you have it in your hands and you turn and take 1 step, 2 steps, that would be possession. There's not necessarily that terminology in the interpretation of this rule.
After review, the ruling on the field stands as a completed catch. Montreal is charged their final challenge, and they have 1 timeout remaining.
A completion to Klukas is what the final call is, but
I like the challenge. I mean, he needed something good to happen, Kahari Jones, and give it a shot. You know, it was a pretty close call, but you don't have to tuck the ball to have possession. You can run with it. You know who does that often is Eric Rogers. He'll catch it with his hands and just keep it in his hands, not tuck it under his arm.
Here's Arbuckle, over 330 yards already in this game. A lot of it coming here in the 4th. This time they'll hand it off to Jackson. He's got nowhere to go. There is a flag on the far side of the field here on this play as well. Kind of came out near the end of the play. Jackson's fired up. Fired up before the game tonight.
Procedure. No end. Calgary. The penalties decline. 2nd down.
19th penalty of the game. The Alouettes decline. And I'll make 2nd and.
Well, there's going to be, forget the penalty. There's also going to be some guys a little lighter in the pocketbook after this one based on, now they want to get the spot right because it was a tackle for a loss.
Yeah, they put the ball back right at the line of scrimmage, and now they'll move it back about 5 or 6 yards.
Yeah, there you go, and that's the in real-time command center official getting the spot correct.
Oh, big play here for this Montreal defense right now. 2nd and 17 from their own 46.
Where's Bagleton? He's up here.
I'm going to predict he runs really quickly down the field.
He's in motion in that fly sweep.
This time they'll get it to Hoff, who kind of brought it in with 1 hand. And pickup of about 3 or 4. Let's get an update on Loeffler from Farhan.
Yeah, guys, you'll notice he wasn't out there on that last series. Taylor Loeffler done for the game with a left knee injury. He was being looked at by doctors on the sideline. Spent a bit of time on his feet trying to move around a bit. Really nothing doing. They made a quick decision to keep him out the rest of the game. Koshi Mwamba, who was just recently added back to the Als lineup, goes in at safety. He gets to play in the same defense with his brother Enoch. Meanwhile, on the Calgary sideline, we've got Corey Greenwood, who's been getting his right knee looked at. You'll remember he first injured it when he got shook on the play by Vernon Adams earlier, and that's been a continued problem for him throughout the rest of this game. No word on whether or not he'll be back to finish up for Calgary.
A little bit of an adventure there from Ryan, but he's able to hang on to that punt, and Vernon Adams in the offense. Their defense gets them the ball back. They're down 11 with just over 4 minutes to work.
Yeah, points, absolutely. You know, you're in 3-down territory now because you're down 2 possessions. You're Montreal. Vernon Adams got to get it done and got to get it done quickly. The enemy is twofold now. It's the Calgary defense and the clock.
No Corey Greenwood in the game. A middle linebacker here for the Stamps defense. Pressure coming on Adams, gets it away down the field, and that is complete to Posey at about the 31 as the steady diet of feeds continues here for DeVere Posey.
Good start to the drive. Posey starts in that slot back spot, the short side of the field. Jamar Wall was on a blitz, and
Adams moving quickly, pressured, gets away, downfield, nobody there.
Yeah, he threw that one away. He just trying to throw it to an open area.
Did a good job stepping up just to be able to find the room to throw that ball.
Well, and not take a loss. I mean, he was looking at taking a sack and putting himself in second and 10 plus, and you don't. Second and 10 is hard enough to convert.
Everybody had a crack at him there. I think it was Rose who broke through the line initially, forced him to step up into the pocket and throw that ball away.
If you're in 3-down football, you're not necessarily having to force it over 10 yards here.
3 targets to the right for Adams, looks to the left. Just misses the intended target. Would have been enough for a first down, or darn close to it as he puts it through the hands of DeVere Posey.
Now they are going to kick it away. There's before the warning, so Kahari Jones thinks he'll get 2 possessions before that final 3 minutes runs out. Nick Arbuckle's probably got another thought.
Especially with the way he's been playing so far here in the 4th quarter.
He wants to grind it down. But he'll put it in the hands of his defense without Taylor Loeffler and try and get the 2-0.
Beatty's punt will come down just inside the Calgary 40. Williams right up the middle, takes it back for about a 10 or 11 yard return before he's wrapped up and taken down face to face. There's Williams fired up. Calgary Stampeders, an opportunity to possibly seal this thing away as they lead 28-17 over the Alouettes. Do or die this situation. Down 28-17, 2:56 left to go. It's on this guy now.
Bob Slowick has now gone with Jannar Jones at safety. Taylor Loeffler's out, but he needs a 2-0.
Arbuckle completing 90% of his passes so far in this football game. Hands it off to Jackson, and Jackson will take it up to midfield.
Slowick has done such a nice job with his defense, really come together through that 3-game win streak for the Montreal Alouettes. He's got a Super Bowl championship ring from the Cowboys back in '92. Was a defensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears for years and had a relationship with Mike Sherman, the former Montreal head coach, but done a good job. He needs one now. Do they send pressure? They send Enoch?
2nd and 5. They'll give it back to Jackson, cuts it ahead, and they've stopped him short. Needed that to happen at that moment, and they got it.
Well, and he didn't panic. I mean, Bob Slowick, his call was to just play base defense, and when he did, he got what he wanted, which was a run play from Dave Dickinson. Base defense, you run a screen or a bubble screen, something like that. Maybe you have a little trouble, and Arbuckle gets another set of downs. He calls a base, and Enoch Mwamba makes the tackle. He slides and scrapes to it, gets the 2-0.
So one last crack at it here for Montreal Alouettes defense. Arbuckle's going to stay on the field here. 3rd and 2. Now he's going to slide up under center.
Trying to get him offside.
Looked as though somebody jumped on the offensive line of the Stampeders.
Yeah, that's a strategy that a lot of coaches have used, and basically you try and get Montreal to panic there if you're Dickinson.
Number 62, 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
Because they're assuming he's going to punt in this situation, so they put their punt return team out there. Then they panic because they see Arbuckle, so they try and get their defense back on the field. And then Arbuckle comes up and tries to get them to jump offside.
There's a lot going on.
And and then they get the first down. If it doesn't work, you take the penalty or you call a timeout. In this case, they take the penalty, put the punt team out there anyway.
Just under 2 minutes to go. Maver stands on his 40 with an 11-point lead. And he will kick it in the direction here of Reed. Reed takes it at the 11, looking for the far side of the field. Not going to get it. Wrapped up and taken down. Courtney Stephen does it again. He's had a good night on special teams here this evening, and that one's going to force Vernon Adams to have to drive the field.
Yeah, and he needs to do it twice. So, you know, I mean, this is something that we haven't talked about tonight, but one of the unsung heroes of the game for Calgary has been Rob Maver's directional kicking into the corners.
Minute and 40 seconds remaining here for Vernon Adams. They need 2 scores. Adams underneath takes what he can get. That time to Winicky for a short pickup. Takes it up to about the 20. And have to move quicker than that.
Call him on the line of scrimmage.
90 seconds left here for the Alouettes, looking for their first win in 2009. And have to move the ball down the field here, this time to Quan Bray, just outside the 30.
With that much time left on the clock, Calgary will give him that throw every single time.
Probably looking for Eugene Lewis deep down the field here at some point.
Gonna have to push it at some point.
This time he'll go to Lewis, just inside the 40. Wrapped up there by Hawley and Roberson. And that'll be blown down with 1:09 remaining. Alouettes once led 17-14. It's been 14 unanswered here by the Stampeders to take control of this game with just over a minute remaining. Adams stepping back over the middle once again, and that'll be complete to Lewis. There is a flag back by the quarterback. As Lewis held on to that one.
Major foul, roughing the passer, 91, Calgary, 15 yards to the end of play, first down, Montreal.
Mike Rose with the penalty, roughing the passer as he got a piece of Adams at the end. Here's a look at it right at the end. Just a little pop. Adams with some time here over the middle. Got Posey. That'll be complete. They'll take it down inside the 25. I'm gonna get a couple cracks at it here.
Well, now you got to think that for Montreal and Carr Jones, he's thinking take the shots at the end zone now. I was thinking if they only got 5 or 6, they could kick the field goal right away, even if it's second down, because they need 2 scores. But now you're down here, you got to go.
Here's Adams. Looks to the end zone. Just short of it. Touchdown. Finds Eugene Lewis. And they needed a quick drive, and they got a quick drive as Vernon Adams picks his way down the field and gives this team some life.
And the Calgary defensive line is fatigued to a point where they're just not getting the pressure. That's allowing Vernon Adams, the penalty-aided drive, to give them some hope. Go for 2 now.
They'll go for 2 to make it a 3-point game.
Yep.
Executed a 2-pointer earlier in the game to Eugene Lewis, 1-on-1 against Roberson, and they will line up on the far side of the field. 1-on-1 again.
Have to have this. Way more pressure on them, and Calgary's a man short.
Rose will come back onto the field here for Calgary on that D-line. 6 plays, 96 yards for Vernon Adams on a drive to keep them alive for now.
He's got Eugene Lewis and Roberson in a 1-on-1 at the top of the field.
They go there again, you think?
Hornich tried that throw behind. There's the 2 up top there. Press for Roberson.
Alouettes need a pair of points right here. Looking to the right, comes over the middle. He got got it. Winicky. And the Alouettes give themselves a fighting chance, making it a 3-point ball game with 38 seconds left.
Now, while that was going on, the sideline was onside kick team be ready. They were getting ready, so a nice touchdown throw, a 2-point convert where he had the same coverage to the short side, decided to go over the middle. But Eugene Lewis, the nice route. No pressure on Vernon Adams for the touchdown as he gets in behind the zone look. Roberson's got to play off on DeVere Posey. He's got to take that deeper route. And here's the 2-point throw over the middle. And this time Vernon Adams. Vernon Adams wants one more shot at it.
Winicky had a touchdown earlier in the game, gets the 2-point conversion there, setting up a onside kick attempt for the Alouettes.
Mark Killam is going to get his guys, make sure there's the right amount first of all, so they don't get a second chance if Calgary recovers the too many men call. And he's going to overload the side. He's going to basically see how Montreal breaks the huddle, and they'll try and overload up here if Montreal overloads the high side. Boris Beatty's going to try and drop it right in that area there, but he can't kick it out of bounds.
On the leg of Beatty here to earn a chance for his team to possibly tie this game. 7 Alouettes on the wide side of the field here for Beatty. And there's a flag just as he's about to let this thing fly.
Delay a game. Montreal. That's a 10-yard penalty. We'll re-kick.
Delay a game call. Looks like Beatty didn't agree with it. I'll back him up 10. Beatty's still questioning it with the officials. Not going to win that argument. Now he'll do it from the 25.
Yeah, that's a bad call by the officials. Period.
Same formation for the Alouettes. Beatty, pretty good kick, up for grabs, they got it! Eugene Lewis went up and came down with it. Execution, perfect for the Alouettes, and they've given themselves a chance.
Well, they have. They are basically where they spot the ball here on their side of center, just on their side of their 50. First of all, unbelievable timing, and what an accurate kick. This is a tough kick to make, to put it right where you need to put it. High in the air so you let your cover team get there, and Eugene Lewis in this case, but don't kick it too far. Don't kick it out of bounds. If you kick it too deep, Bagleton gets it. There's hope.
34 seconds remaining here for Vernon Adams. Steps back, takes a look, has a man complete far side. Lewis again, big game for Eugene Lewis. He steps out of bounds at the 48.
10 yards away from field goal range for Boris Beatty to tie this game.
Montreal Alouettes were down 11 with less than 2 to play. Got the touchdown, got the 2-point conversion. And now looking to move within field goal range for a chance to tie it. 29 seconds on the clock. Adams looking to his left, goes to his left, has a man complete to DeVere Posey, and they're down at the 35.
Working the sideline because the Calgary secondary still doesn't want to get too tight and give up a deep one, and the game right now, they're trying to just play normal defense and try and make their plays. This is a quick out by DeVere Posey. Well, not that quick. He gets up to the 15, but he got him in field goal range already.
Beatty warming up on the sidelines.
Get Jeremiah Johnson. Sorry, Dustin. Get Jeremiah Johnson. Get him. Well, they're going to throw.
He's going to stay in there for a block. Adams, he's going to go to the end zone, up for grabs. just missing the intended target. Back to Lewis and Roberson in a one-on-one battle. Adams is looking like he got hit in the head.
Well, I love the strategy. Here's what Khari Jones is doing. He's saying, take a shot. 24 seconds left. Let's take a shot, but throw it, if you're Vernon Adams, throw it to where only he can get it or it's incomplete. Going against one of the best corners in the game, but taking their shot down the field. Then they know they're in field goal range already, with enough time at 17 seconds to get Jeremiah Johnson, get it right in the middle. And then you play for overtime. But take a shot for the win first on one deep ball.
Vernon Adams seems fired up. Keeps pointing to the back of his head.
Well, both coaches they can't challenge. They're out of challenge. Their challenge flags are dead.
Injured Stampeder down on the field. Johnson will take a knee next to him as they work on his left leg. How about the Alouettes just giving themselves a chance here to tie this game with a field goal? And there's Chris Kasher, defensive lineman, gingerly back up onto his feet, and he'll head off to the sideline.
Now is Khari Jones thinking, if I kick this thing, I'm going to kick it on third down, and I'm going to take a shot at it.
This is being moved down the field.
Wow.
So did Vernon Adams get the flag he was asking for?
Calgary. We're going to go up 15 yards. Automatic first down. Montreal.
Oh, this changes things.
Did they call a roughing the passer well after the fact from the command center?
At no point was there a flag on the field.
No, there was no call.
Adams now all of a sudden, 1st and 10 from the 20, a couple of shots here to possibly win it. Goes to the end zone, Quan Bray. Ooh, my goodness, almost picked off. As Amos, who has an interception already in the game, got one hand on that.
Yeah, and that's the reason that Vernon Adams is upset. He's saying, don't. Let's go back to the penalty that wasn't called on the field, but apparently was called by the command center. This was the play before.
Watch Kasher.
No. Yeah, I didn't see it.
Called on the field by Kim Murphy is what we've been told.
They didn't throw a flag.
We didn't pick up the flag.
And called it after the fact.
Adams now, 2nd and 10, 12 seconds left. Will he look to the end zone again? He does, far side. That was almost picked off as well, as he was trying to find DeVere Posey. Brandon Smith in coverage.
Well, this is the this is the downside, or the risk when you're going for it. I mean, obviously with the penalty and it puts it down at the 20, you're going to take some shots at the end zone and try and win the game going away. But Vernon Adams got to be very careful. That's two that probably should have been picked off, back-to-back plays. With the #1 team in the league in the interception department.
Boris Beatty to tie it from 27 and force overtime for the Alouettes. The kick is up, and that one is good. We are tied at 28 with 2 seconds remaining here in the 4th quarter.
Think about what the Montreal Alouettes needed. They needed 4 or 5 big plays. They needed down 2 scorers, down 11. They needed the touchdown and a long drive because they started deep in their own end. They needed the 2-point convert. You have to have the onside kick with 38 seconds to go. Have to have that. And they executed that one. Then at least 2 plays to get in field goal range. A mysterious roughing the passer call, which I still didn't see. But bottom line, I don't think Dave Dickinson did either. But bottom line is they needed 5 plays to get this accomplished. Mission accomplished.
Executed all of them. 96-yard drive to get the touchdown. Then they went to Winicky for the 2 points. snagged the onside kick into the hands of Eugene Lewis. Vernon Adams in the second half is 22 of 29 for 253 yards. In the second half, both quarterbacks in this game well over 300. Arbuckle's 27 of 30 for 339 yards and 3 touchdowns. Dickinson's fired up. Vernon Adams 29 of 44, 367, 2 touchdowns and 2 picks. What a show here tonight from both of these guys.
I think the composure of Vernon Adams under the gun, the way he's played in the last 5 minutes of this game, just takes him to another level as the Alouette starter. And he's been doing it since early in the fourth quarter on a bad leg. You've seen him limping after every play.
One of the things that we talked about heading into this game was the Alouettes buying into Vernon Adams and this being his team. And these last 5 minutes, I mean, if there were any doubters left on that sideline, and I'm not saying there are or there were, but if there were, how can you not believe in this guy right now?
No, it's his team. This is Vernon Adams' team, and this is the guy who played in Oregon. This is the guy who, when he was signed, everyone thought, you know, Vernon Adams is a player, and he just didn't have the right system, the right coach, the right mentor. He does now in Kahari Jones, and man, that was a magical 5 minutes, and all the plays he needed to execute, he got it done, and now we're going to overtime.
And as he told us yesterday, didn't really start respecting the Canadian Football League until last year, and I think tonight maybe the rest of the league respecting Vernon Adams now as well. This will be kicked into the arms of Williams. Williams will bring it back to the 20. Williams now trying to kick it to the outside. He will. Here's Williams back to the 30 before he's gobbled up and yanked out of bounds at the end of the fourth quarter. And for the second time this season in the Canadian Football League, the game will be decided in overtime. Tied at 28 is where we head. And Kahari Jones loving it. He's got his team alive and into overtime in Calgary against the Stampeders.
Okay, gentlemen, we're going to have a coin toss again. And just as a reminder, the team logo is tails, the CFL logo is heads. Montreal, you're the visitors. You'll call a toss. The winner of the toss cannot defer. Okay? Offense, defense, or which end of the field we go to. Okay? What do you call? Tails is called. It is a tail. You'll put defense. Which end of the field are we going to?
Take that one.
You're going to go on offense down this end. Calgary, first down this end of the field. Good luck, gentlemen.
And here we are, overtime in Calgary, and it will be the Stampeders on offense here in our mini game from the 35. Arbuckle, 4 targets to his right. Alouettes were down 11 with 1 minute and 40 seconds left. Find themselves in overtime defending here against Calgary, and that'll be a completion to Sindani at about the 30.
Well, it takes the decisions out. If you win the toss, you go on defense first. That takes the decisions out of it for your turn. Dave Dickinson has to play it straight here. If he doesn't convert here, incomplete pass probably takes the 3 points, and then Montreal has to match or better.
2nd and 2. Jackson standing to the left of Arbuckle. Will they give it to him? Yes, they do, and he's got the first down. Take a big pop. Ends up down at the 20. Jackson goes right back at Reed. He is fired up being back in this lineup.
Nice down block from the outside. This play looks like it's designed to go tackle to tackle, but his vision bounces it, and that puts Enoch Mwamba in a bit of a tough angle to react to it. For first down.
1st and 10 now from the Montreal 20 for Arbuckle in the offense. Near side, wide open, that'll be complete. Mayala takes it down inside the 10.
Big catch earlier in the game for Mayala. That's a 14-yarder, and that's the second real important catch for this young receiver.
4 catches on the day for the 2019 first-round pick making an impact here for the Stampeders near the midway point of the season. Arbuckle now working first and goal from the Montreal 7. First possession of overtime. Arbuckle looking to the right, throws to the right, has a man. Touchdown Stampeders. Who else? Fourth of the day for Reggie Begelton.
I was about to say this is the Eric Rogers territory, because Eric Rogers big in the red zone, but when he was blocking and the Begelton game and the game that Begelton's had, I mean, why not go to 84? He just runs that out cut, and he's got leverage to the outside, the accurate throw from Arbuckle. Now, you take defense first in overtime, because then you know what you've got to match. What it does, though, the downside of doing that is now you've got the pressure on your offense. They've got to match this, and Dave will go for 2.
Have to go for 2 here in this situation.
Absolutely, you have to.
Arbuckle, 3 targets to the left. One of them is Begelton. Will he look to Begelton again? Not this time. It's batted down, I think, by Bowman. I think Bowman came around and batted that one down for the Montreal defense. So it'll be a 6 spot for the Stampeders, and they lead 34-28 with Vernon Adams in the Montreal offense about to take over. Here's a look at the work of John Bowman.
Boy, this is a veteran, and he's just to the left of your screen, but he reads that Arbuckle wanted that curl throw, and he steps away from his man, doesn't go up the field. That's just playing real smart football. It's been a quiet night for one of the best in the game's history off the edge in John Bowman, but that could become a huge play if Vernon Adams can find the end zone.
Alouettes start at the 35. They need 6 to stay alive. And they'll hand it off to Johnson on a draw. He'll take it down to the 30. And Reggie Begelton, by the way, 4 touchdowns on the game, tying for the second most in CFL history. Tie is actually with Milt Stiegel and G. Roy Simon at 4. That's the type of night it's been for Begelton.
All right, Jones knows he's got to go. 3-down football here. Got a match with a major.
Adams needs 5 here for a new set of downs. Maybe some pressure from Calgary. They do. That'll be thrown across and complete for a first down. What a job by Eugene Lewis. He held on to that one. He's having a day as well. Over 100 yards now.
And a lot of those yards against Roberson. 2 great pros, and this is blitz pickup. This is a blitz beater, because Calgary sent them all, and he knows he's got to get inside and open quickly. Roberson was there on time, but he hung on. It's been a nice matchup to watch tonight.
First and 10 from the Calgary 22. Overtime here at McMahon. Adams barking out some last-minute directions. 3 to stick this ball off. Just in time. Looks to the left. Now he's going to run up the middle. Vernon Adams, a ton of room. And he'll slide ahead for a first down and a little bit more as Adams comes up limping again. But that hasn't stopped him from running wild tonight.
Boy, he's fighting it, though. He's gutting it out. This is going to endear him to his teammates even more, because he's laying it on the line, and he know every time he gets up now, you look at his expression, and he's in pain, but he's gutting it out.
First and goal from the 10. 6 to tie it. They'll have a chance to go for 2 and win it if they can get that. 3 targets to the left, 3 to the right, comes over the middle, and that one will be complete. That'll take them down inside the 5 if it was Jeremiah Johnson coming out of the backfield to make that catch.
Yeah, that wasn't a check down. That was a design play to get Jeremiah Johnson in front of the linebackers and get him right on the doorstep. Now Khari Jones opens the playbook a little bit more. I mean, they're not on the 1-yard line, but on the 3. Two shots, 3 yards to go.
Second and goal for the Alouettes offense. They tied it at the end of regulation. Can they do it again here? Second and goal from the 3. The shotgun Adams. He's going to keep it. What's he going to do? Missed a handoff. Diving ahead. Gets it down to the 1. And it'll be third and goal from the 1.
Jeremiah Johnson grabbed his helmet, and by that reaction, it looks like he went the wrong way. And because of that, timing's off, and Vernon Adams just quickly makes that split-second decision to get up there. He gets 2. Here we go.
Short yardage. They need a touchdown to keep this game alive. Adams up under center. Pushes ahead. Does he get there? Pile of humanity. Adams is in there somewhere. Still no signal here at McMahon. Where is he? Stampeders say no. Dig him out of there. Vernon Adams. Is he in? Touchdown, Alouettes! Tie game!
Man, talk about building some suspense. They had to sort it out. Adams was at the bottom. Look at him.
No helmet. Limping, shoulder pad hanging off.
Kept pushing, kept driving. Somewhere down in the bottom of that pile is Vernon Adams. Now every touchdown is reviewed, including overtime, but there is absolutely no evidence in there that I've seen at any of those looks that would change this call, because you have to see definitive evidence that the call was incorrect. It took time to sort it out, but somewhere in the bottom of that, the ball was across the plane. Now it comes down to a 2-point convert.
Impossible to tell anything on any review in that pile up. Dickinson's frustrated.
Well, then, yeah, it goes with the call on the field. So the call on the field, it took some time, but was touchdown.
And now the Alouettes.
A touchdown.
Dickinson not happy. Alouettes definitely all smiles.
Calgary's got to regroup here defensively. Just let that go and get down to one play, because this comes down to this play to go to a second round of overtime.
Will the Stampeders defense shut the door here? Alouettes for the win. Vernon Adams looking for 2 points. Throws it up far side. Once again, one-on-one, Lewis and Roberson, and this time Roberson wins the battle.
Was there step for step, got him press coverage. We've seen the matchup all night long. Down in overtime, why not go to the well? He does. It's 87. Look at Roberson's position. Plays through the receiver, turns to look at the football, hand in the air, does not draw the penalty flag because of it, to get a down over for Vernon Adams, and we're going to a second round.
Boy, that has been a fun one-on-one battle to watch tonight. Roberson is one of few of them. Lewis is one of few of them. The emotion from Kahari Jones, excellent. Montreal trying to finish off a game here in Calgary. Flashing it back quite a bit here.
Well, this is back in the AC days. That's how long it's been since the Montreal Alouettes have won a game at McMahon Stadium back in 2009. Now, they won the championship that year right here at McMahon Stadium. Saskatchewan fans do not want to be reminded of that one, but it was early in the regular season that Chip Cox and Ben Cahoon, Anthony Calvillo for the Montreal Alouettes won one here in McMahon Stadium, and boy, they're knocking on the door here. One more round of overtime at the opposite end.
Any soccer fans looking for the Whitecaps game, may I suggest you stick around for overtime, but if not, TSN 4 is where we've got Whitecaps and DC United right now.
So this time, Vernon Adams and Montreal's offense will start. They get the ball first.
This will be the second and final mini game. If this game ends tied, the game will end tied. Both teams will take a point.
That's the rule in the regular season, and in the playoffs, obviously, you play till it's over.
Adams scrimmaging here from the 35. Eugene Lewis down on the near side, one-on-one against Raheem Wilson. That's where he's going to look. And he's got Lewis. Can't hang on, though, as Wilson Wilson was right on top of him. They had that play, I think, in the fourth quarter, too. That long pass over to Lewis, one-on-one against Raheem Wilson. This time it didn't work.
2nd and 10. Now the shoe's on the other foot for Kahari Jones, because if he doesn't get 8-9 yards, then he's kicking the field goal and taking the 3 points. You got to play it straight up, basically, here.
2nd and 10 for Adams. Some pressure coming from Calgary. Adams just heaves it up. Quan Bray underneath it, off the crossbar. Are you kidding me? Bray would have had it. There's a flag back on the play. Adams must have got hammered as he threw that up. I think Quan Bray catches that if it doesn't hit the bar.
You're right, he does.
Roughing the passer. Calgary, number 52. 15 yards, automatic first down. Montreal.
Incredible.
Well, this is a definite roughing the passer call. There's no question about the hit. It was Riley Jones that put the hit on him. I think Dave Dickinson, go ahead and run it, guys. Watch the end of this play. It was the top of the helmet from Riley Jones that got Vernon Adams in the helmet. This call is the correct call.
Fresh set of downs. We'll swing it out to Quan Bray. Bray got a couple of blocks, takes it down inside the 10, which will be enough for a first down.
But just quickly, Dustin, because that ball hit the uprights, that last throw. I agree. Bray would have had the catch.
He was just waiting for it.
It hit the crossbar, so that means that the ball is dead. Because some Calgary fans may be saying, "Hey, that was caught by Royce Metchie off the bounce," and it was, but that's not an interception.
Heck of a play, though. Here's Adams now. 1st and goal from the Calgary 8. Near side, Eugene Lewis, 2 men to beat. Got by one of them, diving towards the end zone. Touchdown! Eugene Lewis, through 3 or 4 Stampeders, has put the Alouettes back on top, 40-34.
How about Vernon Adams' game? Both these quarterbacks putting on a show. Vernon Adams threw that ball around Cordero Law. It finds Eugene Lewis again. Eugene Lewis having a monster night tonight.
Of course, all plays being looked at here, but Lewis is having a huge game.
Both he and Posey over 100. He's at 115.
Posey's almost at 200.
By the command center.
But this guy
under review
has been money. Vernon Adams getting beat up, taking hits.
This play is under review. It looks like a touchdown on that play. That wasn't the greatest look at it, but looked like a touchdown there.
Well, this might give you a better shot at where the ball actually was, but they got to make sure the ball crossed the plane before Lewis's backside touches the turf. I think there's no question about it, but every score is reviewed, so they'll automatically do that.
It's interesting to see where his backside touched. The ball was up in his chest, so it might have been a little bit ahead of it, but so long review. Here's your answer.
The player was down with contact short of the goal line.
Oh, wow.
He's 2nd down on the 1-yard line.
Okay, now this was ruled a touchdown. This was ruled a touchdown, so you have to have definitive proof that it wasn't. Let's take a look and see what they saw, because it looked to me like it was a touchdown. Backside not touchdown yet.
That's close call. Really close call. Vernon Adams will step up underneath again, trying to plow ahead, not going to get there this time, or is he? Boy, Calgary defense.
He got there. They just signaled touchdown late.
As Adams eventually, and I mean eventually, crosses that line. That seemed like an eternity, but he gets in. This time he wasn't under the pile, so clearer to see.
He must have inside. Well, this will be a good look from above. Did he push the ball and hold the ball out in front of him across the plane? So again, they'll have to review this. But ruled a touchdown late. The signal was there for sure. And that official was right on the spot. And there's the two hands up. You saw it at the end of that last shot.
The previous play is under automatic review by the command center.
It did look like he had a little lean forward there on that angle.
Yeah, that official was right there and closest. These type of reviews, I mean, and I'll just suggest this once and move on, but these type of reviews are necessary for sure, and I like them in the rules, but they have to be split second. If there's not definitive evidence, and I haven't seen definitive evidence on the last two plays.
The ruling on the field stands. We have a touchdown.
This time, it's good. 40-34. Total net yards tonight, over 1,000 in this football game. Montreal at 558, Calgary at 444.
It's a big play here.
Going for two, as they have to. This would secure a tie for the Alouettes. Adams looks for Lewis against Roberson again. Looked like he might have got his hands on it, but it flies off to the back of the end zone.
Great timing from Trey Roberson. In this matchup that's gone back and forth. And hey, Eugene Lewis has made his plays. So this will be where two pros just respect that they're playing against good players, and they'll be shaking hands after this one's over. But that timing and the knockdown, the left arm coming around from Trey Roberson on time, doesn't allow Eugene Lewis to make another spectacular catch.
Calgary Stampeders know what they need to do. 6 to tie, an extra 2 for the win. Arbuckle, brilliant night, 30 of 34. 4 targets to his right. Bagleton among them. They'll hand it off. Don Jackson inside the 20. Don Jackson down to the 10. How's a 25-yard scamper set you up here in a mini game?
How about that call from Dave Dickinson, though? He's I think all of Montreal defensively, their linebackers drop way out. You won't see their linebackers in this shot. Well, yeah, now you will. Watch them, how deep they are. And Aki and Enoch Mwama, they're just dropping out thinking pass, 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 and then a little underneath handoff to Don Jackson. Now it's got the linebackers scrambling to just keep them out of the end zone, and they're down on the doorstep.
Biggest play of the game in his return to the lineup. Arbuckle waiting. Now it's to move out to his right, back up the middle. Here comes some pressure, got away from it. Somehow avoided 2 or 3 tackles before he was eventually gobbled up there.
Yeah, I think Arbuckle wanted to throw it away there, but the swarming Alouette defense just weren't even giving him that opportunity. He wanted to just ground this. It looked like he was trying to get rid of it. Just now it collapses. So he's just trying to find an outlet, get it out of my hands, and he just couldn't. It was swarming.
2nd and goal from the 17 now, though, for Arbuckle. 4-man rush. Drops it up underneath to Jackson. Jackson kind of slipped and then was taken down by Patrick Levels.
But Calgary knows what they need. So not unlike the first round, they got to go here.
No decision needed.
And it comes down to a play. But now that sack and Arbuckle not being able to just throw it away even puts them in a bind. I mean, now ball on the 14-yard line. Much better situation for the Montreal defense.
3rd and goal from the 14. They need all 14 to tie this game. Arbuckle looking to the end zone. Of course he is. That's too deep for Rogers. Alouettes are going to win it for the first time in 10 years. Montreal has come in here with head coach Kahari Jones and walked away with a victory at McMahon.
Arbuckle is asking for the automatic review. Any touchdown or potential touchdown is automatically reviewed.
The previous play, I need a mic. Previous play is under review by the command center.
They're taking a look before everybody leaves the field to make sure that Eric Rogers didn't get a foot down. Both feet.
Whoa. Oh my goodness.
Whoa. Whoa.
That's as close as you can get.
Test. The previous play is under review by the command center.
Which toe tap first?
I'm wondering if that back one ever came up. Like that view there, looks like he almost drug it the whole way. Oh, maybe a little pop just as he went up for it. Watch that left foot.
Now, the ball's in his hand now, so it's off the turf there. The right foot. Oh, wow, that is tight.
That's an amazing effort from Rogers.
It really is, but almost both feet touching, one out of bounds, one inbounds at the exact same time. It doesn't get any closer than that.
What a finish. He's got it right now. And it's
is that left foot dragging, or is that left foot? It is now for sure, but was it?
I think if it was dragging before, we would have seen the pebbles, right, when it was up.
Now this one, they need to take some time. This one, they need to take. This is.
See, right there, it looks like it's up, but that's a tough, and it's down. Oh, man. That's an extremely difficult call.
Meanwhile, both teams think they're just kind of mulling around, trying to figure out if they got to go again here.
See, that was a good stop there. Looked like it might have just been half an inch off the field. It would be very difficult to overturn this one, Glenn.
I think both coaches are sort of thinking anything can happen here.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. It's not a touchdown. It's the end of the game.
Alouettes win. And they'll run off the field with 2 points. Heck of a game, though. And for a Montreal team that was down 11 with 1:40 left. I mean, this is a statement to the rest of the league that there's no counting out Vernon Adams and the Montreal Alouettes.
Well, and this is a statement from that guy right there, Vernon Adams, that he is a legit starter, and this is his football team. He needed a bunch of plays in the last 2 minutes of the game to make it happen. The entire team did down 11, as you mentioned, Dustin, but you take a look at Vernon Adams' numbers as well. I know we went to overtime, so that's added, but he's 32 of 50, 389, 2 touchdowns in the second half, and he's been playing on one leg since the fourth quarter.
Phenomenal effort by the offense of the Alouettes to come back here in this game. The Nissan Titan Player of the Game is brought to you by the Nissan Titan, ranked number 1 in quality by J.D. Power. Taylor Loeffler on crutches. He'll go home with a limp, but he'll also go home with 2 points here tonight in Montreal Alouettes as Reggie Begelton with a record-setting night. 4 touchdowns for Begelton. Could have used one more as the Alouettes with an incredible comeback, and for the first time since 2009, they're victorious at McMahon in Calgary.